I'll take this intro, boys. Hello and welcome to another exhilarating episode of the official podcast. This is episode number 177. As you can perhaps see, I don't know how the final video is going to look, but we've mixed it up a little bit because we're joined by a big star celebrity. So now we have all webcams in here to prove that we were together with the Nick Wolfhard. Take the stage. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, it is me, self-proclaimed celebrity Nick Wolfhard. No, but for real. I'm a voice actor, and I'm also a Twitch streamer. I'm on a show called Last Kids on Earth on Netflix, which just dropped, like, I guess 2 days ago now. It's definitely not going to be 2 days ago by the time this comes out. And I also just did a podcast, or a Adult Swim pilot called Smiling Friends with my friends Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack. You guys have had Zach on the podcast, right?
Yep, he's a podcast friend, baby. That's Psychic Pebbles, for those that don't know his real name. Not to dox him on live air or anything, but that is Zach.
But
he's a hilarious little man.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah, he's I love that goblin so much. I know I feel guilty calling him that.
He calls himself that.
Oh yeah,
he was talking about like his funeral on this show, where he's like, people get little pieces of my goblin flesh under their seats or something.
Oh god, I totally forgot about that. It's been a while, but
that was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
But yeah, I've also done voiceover for Beyblade, for My Little Pony.
Oh boy,
other stuff. Other stuff in the works. What was that?
The bronies, man. Well, that's an interesting lead-in question. How was it being on My Little Pony, knowing some of the degeneracy going on in the community? That had to be flattering.
No, I mean it really, like, it honestly actually like really was, because I only actually did some additional voices, so for me the experience was great because I just got to see like these voice actors who have been in the business for so long, and even if I didn't have to do that much dialogue, it was just like it was just great to just sit down and just watch them work, like almost like them doing a live radio show. Like Sam Vincent was there, who's the voice of Double D from Ed, Ed and Eddie. I recorded with him. He was unbelievable. And then Scott McNeil, the original voice of Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, like the OG English Piccolo. And then
some classics.
Yeah, and then anyway, it was really fun. And
so did you get any splashback shrapnel from the creep community watching that show, or were you spared that?
Yeah, did you get to be like innocent, intact?
Innocence totally intact. I mean, listen, when you're on the internet for as long as like, you know, any of us, you're gonna see some of that like online regardless, but particularly targeted at me, no, not at all.
Well,
it was
I
a
don't
fun
mean just
experience.
online. I mean, the girl who voices the main pony, Twilight Sparkle, that's like Tara.
Oh, Tara Strong?
Tara Strong, right?
I actually didn't
Tara
record
Strong.
with her because she lives in LA.
What I'm saying, though, is when she goes to conventions, I can't imagine her showing up without security to a room full of sweaty 30-year-olds yelling at her.
Oh, she absolutely does. Most voice actors do, actually. The ones that have like a lot of numbers, and the ones that like get a lot of media attention, they absolutely have like handlers and you know, stuff like that. They'll occasionally bring babysitters if they're like forced to bring their kid. Just like from just.
Oh, I thought you meant for the fans or something.
No. Yes, we'll babysit the man children. Yes.
God,
You shall suckle on the sweet teats of fandom tonight, my lads.
They would. No, they try to suckle on her teats. It's fucking disgusting.
God.
Live on stage.
Oh, Jesus. But anyway, yeah, no, that's, to answer your question, yeah, security is pretty much a must, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in this day and age, going to something like that, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like a fucking weirdo now that I can see all you guys. I'm kind of like leaning in closer to analyze you guys.
I was going to bring that up because I wanted to make sure that we covered it. So for those of you watching the video version, our webcam format might look a little different, and that's because Discord just now introduced putting in everyone's webcams if they're in a call. And man, I am staring at you motherfuckers. I'm noticing when people aren't looking. I look when someone takes a drink. I can't stop. It's like I'm spying on you. It's creepy.
I feel like I'm in one of those Zoom classrooms.
I can see your fan going around and around. Yeah.
My fan
his mess.
See, I think Discord rushed this
This
feature.
is the first time we've ever seen each other.
I think
know.
Discord rushed this
While
feature
recording.
to fight Zoom because now all the boomers are using Zoom to teleconference their work stuff, to work from
It's
home.
not just the boomers. Everyone's using Zoom.
Everyone, and I think Discord looked at that and said, "Oh shit, guys, maybe we made a mistake branding ourselves as this juvenile gamer chat." So I don't know if you guys noticed, they removed those cringe messages from the loading screen. So when you start,
Did they
Really?
did they actually finally do that?
they
Really?
did. When you start Discord now, it no longer says shit like "Wampus is looking for the condom, hold tight." They removed the bit on their website that says that it's time to ditch TeamSpeak and switch to Discord. They completely ditched that. When you contact their support, they no longer do. I had to contact their support for a bug. They no longer do that whole fucking rigmarole role playing shit. They just answer you.
Rigmarole?
Their customer support isn't allowed to interact with their fans anymore.
I think
They just don't do
Actual
that.
customers.
Oh, our little dragon sprites are not working on your problem. Hold tight, fairy. They don't do that anymore. They just give you a straightforward answer saying, "Thanks for letting us know we're working on a fix
it.
right now."
I know.
They
I
fired
think.
Sprinkle.
And all it took was a global pandemic.
Yeah,
And,
I think.
I'm sure you
I've
guys have
heard people
noticed, maybe they
complain.
also removed the gaming tab. They're no longer selling games. So I think they're entirely
Wow.
walking back the gamer angle on this app. They're trying to be more mature so they can market this shit as a Zoom competitor. I'm telling you.
I was gonna say, like, I've heard people like talk about this before, and I think they realized, like, I think Discord themselves finally realized, like, oh shit, our tech is really good, but our marketing is kind of annoying, and let's try to make it as mainstream as possible. Because, like, legitimately, like, I tried using Zoom as like a test, and Discord's like latency is way better than Zoom.
Yeah.
And like just like in terms of like webcam, the only downside is like you can't like do a background like you can with Zoom, but I'm sure they'll implement that like they just implemented
Who
this.
cares?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
But
Yeah.
Yeah, the infrastructure is way better
So-
and more suited for this kind of stuff.
Exactly,
As opposed
yeah.
to
And for
what is
you,
Zoom? Where did Zoom come from? Is that
Zoom?
new?
No, it's been
I
around
can
for a
tell you
while.
that
Fairly
we
new.
actually had to use Zoom once. You guys didn't know, but I had to download that piece of shit spyware because that's how we talked to John McAfee. He was on Zoom. I was feeding the audio to you guys, remember? So that was annoying.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
It's an annoying software. I don't know. I also don't know where it came from, but apparently it also has just a bunch of stealth code. They're now facing a class action lawsuit because without it being in the user agreement or anything, without asking for permission, it sends user data to Facebook, potentially selling it. So they're in
it's
hot
super.
waters.
Apparently, it's like it's super easy to hack into as well. Like it's very unsecure. Like, yeah.
I've recently started using it for the Smash tournaments I do because it just seemed like a little easier to set up for that. It is so fucking primitive. You can't individually change somebody's audio. That shit is like the worst version of Skype ever. Like pre-alpha for Skype. I don't know why it's like the go-to choice.
Yeah,
But I
I've
have
been
to
Jesus,
say-
I forgot Skype existed until you just
I
said
know, right?
I've been
Talking about
telling
everyone
people
did.
for years to like use Discord because it's like, but I think more people are gonna start using Discord because they got rid of the that stuff and they're doing like more mainstream marketing now. So like,
Mhm.
yeah,
As much as like Discord does shittily in terms of presentation or certain things, they are just the best video chatting app
yeah,
I've ever
absolutely.
yeah, no, totally.
Not to bring up old ghosts again or anything, but do you guys remember when Microsoft bought Skype for $8 billion?
seen. 8 billion?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah, 8 billion.
Wow.
Or it might have been 6. It was 6 or 8. It was a few billion at least. So
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all either.
Yeah, they bought it, but
it
and
was
then
early, like 2010.
they never really did anything with it. But to its credit, Skype never fails. Their servers are never
It didn't.
down. Right? It's
Yeah.
if
It's
you're
also
lagging with your
bundled
friends,
Windows now.
I have to do this a lot with people that sometimes I want to talk to on Discord is one-on-one in a video chat. Sometimes it lags. Skype never lags. The video quality is absolute shit. But because it's shit, because it's very low data, it never lags. So kudos
Yeah.
Skype. Also, it lets me prank call people because it's so cheap.
That's
I
true.
think Skype failed.
It also it comes with Windows now. That was part of the buyout, so you don't even have to install Skype if you want to use it on Windows. So.
Skype
Yeah,
is
so
like
they're fluffing up their install base.
well,
Pretty much,
yeah.
Skype is like actual fucking malware. I've deleted my account 3 times, and I still get a call from a guy named Shroud every like couple weeks.
Oh yeah, not only that, Charlie.
Wait,
Every month from your Skype name, I get a message going, "Hey man, you should check out this thing on YouTube." And it's like,
So they've
it's an
hacked
obvious
Charlie's
phishing
account?
link.
I don't know. It's an account I made when I had to be like 9 years old when I was first talking to Kaya.
You guys would not believe
Someone's
the
using
amount.
it.
You guys would not believe the amount of spam I get now because I put my business email like public on Twitter.
Ugh,
It's
yeah.
part of the
That's the
process,
worst.
I
It's
guess.
the
But
worst.
yeah. Oof. Oof.
I had no
Public
idea
business
about this Discord change though. So like Wumpus is they put him down, like he's dead now. There's no more Wumpus.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're really Wampus is about to lose his job because of the coronavirus. He's a
That's
non-essential
gonna be-
worker.
Oh, you just wait, Kaya. That's their spin. They're gonna come back in full force with a whole Wumpus versus the coronavirus
Yeah,
picture.
he'll come
book
in with
that
like
you
a
can buy.
crutch and bandages. We survived.
So I think the
high
virus is
elves did
gonna
the
end.
seance.
And then maybe I don't
can't-
know. It's so the thing also is you have also Slack, which is something that business people also use, which is a chat room type of deal. Programmers love using it, developers, and Discord. They never even try to compete with that, and maybe they'll start now. Maybe they'll realize that hey, if we don't pander to little baby children, might be better for business.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time, and it seems like they're finally starting to do it, which is great. But,
Yeah, actually
yeah.
take it seriously now.
Have any
Yeah,
of you
no,
guys
totally.
bought games on Discord?
Once.
I've never. I like the because
What would be the benefit?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it's. I think the thing is like it's so. They don't really advertise it, so it's kind of like out of the way. And I think I don't know. Maybe they think it's like an afterthought, but I'm honestly not sure how they think. So
When they first announced the game thing, they came with like a well, it didn't come with. There was a Discord exclusive game. It was called like Nightmare at High School
Oh,
or
yeah,
Dead
yeah, it
but
was
not
like a-
super dead.
Wasn't it like a wave survival shooter or something?
No, it was kind of like
No?
one person plays a monster and then 4 people play high school nerds to survive.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What happened to that game? That game looked promising.
Well,
Nothing?
it died on Discord Games. What do you mean? What happened to it? It was exclusive to Discord
that
Games.
sounds like that Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah,
was
like Dead by Daylight is the other
Yeah.
one.
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
sad. Imagine signing an exclusivity deal with a store and then the store just closes immediately. They don't even show the
what
game,
happens to the
game
property?
tab anymore. It's gone entirely. I think
Hopefully,
the point was that
hopefully
Wow.
they'll be able to shop it to other marketplaces like Steam.
I hope so.
All the files are deleted now.
Wampus hit the big delete
Went
button.
into the server room with a fucking baseball bat.
You see, Wumpus is the main problem here. Wumpus is the cause of all
Yeah.
Discord's problems. Anytime someone has a good idea, Wumpus like teleports behind them, asks them, "Hey, no, that's
Like
not
an
that's
anime
not Rainbow
character.
Unicorn XD, all right?"
If you go on
Chill.
Twitter, it is literally all Wumpus. You're not wrong. He's like their assassin of good ideas.
Really? They just-
Yeah, whenever something goes wrong, he's like, shit, Wumpus tripped over the power cord. Well, silly, Wumpus done fucked up the servers. It's always Wumpus.
Oh yeah.
He really is the problem.
he's always the
Do you think
scapegoat.
there's eventually going to be an animated movie about Wampus
Not anymore.
produced by Discord?
Not if
and
they
Nick,
got-
you could voice act him.
Yeah, it's gonna be
How would that
Illumination
be?
Studios right after
I
the
probably,
Minions.
I mean, being a voice actor, like to be real for a second, like you can't afford to say no. Like if you're a voice actor, you gotta do
Not when
pretty
it comes
much
to Wampus.
as long as it's you. No, dude, I'd totally do it. Like if you're a union voice actor, as long as it's union, you pretty much got to do everything that's thrown at you. Like you don't have the privilege to like say no to a lot of these things. It's not like it's not like a regular like big celebrity, you know what I mean, where they can afford that kind of stuff. But
I'm curious, what would happen if, say, you did like go for a voice role or whatever, and you put in like a few weeks of work, but then you like purposeful. Gee, I can't speak. I'm not going to become
Stage
a voice
fright.
actor.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
cameras.
I'm staring at you. I'm going to maximize their video right now.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Like
just staring at Jackson.
on purpose, you like sabotage the whole project and start voice acting really poorly. Do they just get rid of you at that point, and are you banished from the industry? Like, what do you think would happen?
I've never had anyone ask me that before. I'm assuming they'll
never done so well either.
well, no, yeah, like, what I'm assuming is they'll
Eloquent.
eventually, what I'm assuming is they'll eventually catch on, yeah, and find out that you're like not doing a bang up job on purpose, and I wouldn't say you'd be blacklisted. I mean, I maybe if the people behind it were like, you know, petty or something, but I'd assume that they would just either replace you or because you already have a contract.
Can they replace you?
No, well, that's the thing. Like, I was just gonna say, like, if you have a contract, they'll go with the flow. Like, it really just like depends on the person, I guess. This is just hypothetically speaking, but.
Yeah, hypothetically. Do you think you could blackmail them for like a larger percentage of wage or something?
No.
And say, I'll bring back my talent.
What are you talking about?
No?
Yeah, I don't think there's that kind of leverage.
Where did that come from to begin with?
I assume the contract doesn't actually say he has to end up in the game. So if they have enough of a budget, they could absolutely just fire him and get someone new.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
You wouldn't believe.
Yeah, but then they have to re-record lines.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I'm assuming, like, again, it really just depends on the contract, but if it's signed and set in stone, they can replace you, but at the end of the day, you probably have to get paid no matter what. Like, again, it depends. Like, are you gonna breach that contract before they do, or are they not gonna breach it at all? Like, again, it so many.
Yeah, but there's no way.
Like,
word would absolutely get around. I mean, it's like a high school. Every industry is like a high school where people talk. They have their cliques. You would end up on a blacklist. So I recommend you don't botch that My Little Pony voice acting job on purpose.
Oh my god! Of course. What?
You'll make
Jackson,
the
this is all your fault. You brought this up.
Yeah.
God damn it,
I'm just
Jackson.
worried about my own reputation now that I fucked up that work so bad.
Don't worry.
I'll let you in on a secret.
I'm just joking around.
Podcasters have a blacklist. So if you don't do a good job today, you're ending up on it.
Purposefully.
Say goodbye to Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Say goodbye to what's Zach's podcast name? Fuck, what is it?
Sleepy Cabin.
Misfits?
No, the other one. The other
Sleepy
one.
Cabin?
Schmucks.
Sleepy Cast.
Schmucks. The
Yeah,
other
it is
one.
Schmucks, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Sleepy Cabin.
Zach's been busy, so he
Yeah.
hasn't done Schmucks in a while, and for obvious reasons, as you can tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smiling Friends was absolutely great, by the way. Anyone that hasn't seen it, I'd recommend it. I thought
Oh,
it was
thank you,
fantastic.
thank you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was like I have some stories actually to tell about
perfect.
working on that
Well,
I haven't
before
actually.
you do, Nick,
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear your stories.
That was
But
aggressive.
I have to ask
Fuck
you.
your stories.
I have to ask these boys a very specific question, and that's the question, boys. Do you shave your balls?
Of course we do, Andrew.
Duh.
We're
Exactly.
civilized men in a civilized age.
Right. And if you two
Lockdown
out
is
there
no
are a
excuse not
civilized
to
man,
be a groomed man. Don't be disgusting.
Exactly. So if you're bored in your house, why not play with your balls? Because our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure that your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls, thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming. While you're probably looking for new things to do at home, why not take Manscaped and try shaving your balls? Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0, precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. You can get 20% off and free shipping with code OFFICIAL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code OFFICIAL at manscaped.com. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Nick, I didn't include you in this ad because I forgot how old you are.
That's
But-
okay. I'm 22.
Oh, thank God, because I've heard a bunch of people.
get me one of those.
I've seen people on the internet. They're like constantly calling you 16 and 17, and I knew that wasn't true, but I got.
It's
because
I look young. It's because I look like really young
Yeah.
for my age. Like ever since I was even in like high school, people are like, "Are you like, you're not in high school. You're like in 8th grade." And I'm like, "All right."
Exactly. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to get any hot water, but I knew that you were a big boy just like us. So Nick, in that case, why don't you tell anybody out there if you have a great experience with Manscaped, or if you've wanted to try shaving your balls?
That's actually something I need to improve on. So yes, I am interested in this product.
Great. You can start your journey to self-improvement just like Nick here with manscaped.com, code official for 20% off and free shipping.
Quick tip, the first time you shave your balls, it's gonna shave like shit. Once you walk around, it hurts,
so
it gets
bad.
red.
It does.
It itches, it gets... Right, and Manscaped has an anti-chafing ball cream. Ball deodorant, moisturizer, whatever you want to call it, you can apply it. That's nice. That's kind of the main part for me. It's not the shaving part. I can suck it up and do that, but the chafing afterwards, once you walk around in your jeans, not fun.
No.
I shave my balls every now and then, and I can tell you, Manscaped, I'm on board. It's pretty solid stuff.
Thank you,
I
Manscaped.
agree.
Yeah, thank you, Manscaped.
So I would like to hear some of those smiling friend stories, Nick.
Oh, okay.
Please.
So it was I remember like a couple years ago. We were in Burbank and we were having dinner with a bunch of animators. It was Zach. It was Psychic Pebbles, Michael Cusack, Rice Pirate, Mick. He was there.
Another friend of the podcast.
Adam Polonian, who he was the supervising director on SpongeBob, and now he's working on the new Cuphead Netflix cartoon. Supervising director on that. Oh yeah, and El Cid, Rodrigo Huerta, he's awesome. But anyway, like they told us like they had this kind of like idea brewing, like they didn't have like they wanted us involved in something they were working on, but they hadn't exactly cracked what they wanted to really like do yet. So about like I don't know, like 6 months to a year later, they figured it out, and then about another year later, we recorded Smiling Friends in like January of 2019. And so I remember like they gave us the roles of the Bleeblies. So it was I got Graham Nelly and half the Bleeblies. Well, I guess a quarter since Finn, Zach, and Michael did them too. And Finn got like the guy in the wall, and we recorded so much stuff for the Bleeblies, like a ridiculous amount of stuff that didn't get into the show. And I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because there is some, oh man, like,
is that shit that would get you canceled? Like
no, not like nothing like that. It was just because like the Bleeblies like don't talk or anything, but like the Zach was like, Nick, we need you to record some sex sounds. We need you to record like. So
that
it was
sounded just like Zach.
Yeah, that is a really good impression.
So like I had to. Finn didn't do him for obvious reasons because he's a minor. So like I had to. I remember as well. I had to. I got this like bottle of water from downstairs, and like I had to record some electrocution drowning sounds. So it was these horrendous noises of just me going like like stuff like that, and like also like just like sex sounds, just like me, like, you know, hypothetical situations where the Bleeblies get like their heads like cut in half or something. It's like, oh man, there is so much that they could still use if they ever like bring it back as like stock audio. But that's basically the story. It was insane. Nice. It was also like one of the most fun recording sessions I've ever had. I did it from my house actually, in this very room, on this very microphone, so did my brother, and we were able to, the sound quality actually came out really great.
That's how I record all of my music as well, from my home. Not this microphone, but you'd be surprised the kind of quality you can get with just things at stores, and you can build your own little studios. It sounds great.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Because I stream as well, and so I've actually been able to like you said, like do that. Like this webcam, microphone, mixer, all that stuff is because of people who donate to my stream. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, stream viewers from twitch.tv/thewolfhard. I love you guys. You're awesome. Yeah. I pulled
Are
a
you on
you,
Team
Charlie.
Focusrite?
I pulled a
Yeah, I mean,
twitch.tv/critical.
That's how it's done, baby. Do you use Focusrite for your mixer?
Yeah,
'Cause I've recently been learning.
I'm using a Scarlett 2i2 Focusrite. Super
oh,
reliable.
my man. I've
They're
got that
great.
exact one right here.
They're fantastic,
that.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before we go any further, I have to make a big mention to Bespoke Post. If your mailbox is anything like mine, 90% of the time it's a fairly depressing place. There's political flyers, utility bills, unholy amounts of coupons, stuff that you just throw in the trash. Why even bring it home with you? But once a month, I do have a reason to be stoked, and that's because of my Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post sends guys only the best stuff every month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has carefully built collections for every part of your life. Jackson, what Box of Awesome do you think you would enjoy?
Well, actually, they sent me the Forge pack from Bespoke Post. It came with a really nice knife with a little sheath for it, and there's a lot of these kind of interesting packs there as well. Like the Elevate pack comes with a nice little toiletry bag so that you can take like toothbrushes and stuff on travel trips and such. There's just a lot of nice, interesting packages over at Bespoke Post that are quite interesting, Andrew.
Yeah, they're really specialized little gift boxes in a way. They have ones for making knives, they have ones for making cocktails, they have ones for cleaning your face. If you're a dude and you feel like a dude and you want something that makes you feel even more like a dude, you're going to want to check out Bespoke Post because they're going to have some package there that you're going to want to check out. To get started, you can also take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help you pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box only costs $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. And if you want it to cost even less than $45, you can get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter code OFFICIAL at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code OFFICIAL for 20% off of your first box. If you like to drink, if you like to shave, if you like to wear a nice foldable parka, you never know. There's a lot of things that you like, and you can find a box for what you like at Bespoke Post.
If you like interesting
And
things.
that's box. If you're an interesting person and just like things in general. Boxofawesome.com, code OFFICIAL for 20% off for something interesting.
Thanks, Bespoke Post.
Thanks.
So, working in the voice acting industry, you hear a lot of stories about, sometimes the voice actor gets pushed really hard to their limits, like DBZ being an easy one, Goku, all the screaming and stuff. Have you ever had an experience like that where you've just, laid nuts to butts on the line and just, hurt yourself for a role?
I got close to it. I remember back when I was recording Beyblade, the amount of screaming, because the character I played was Yugo Nansui and his voice is, really down low. And I had to, really, like you said, get down to the nitty and gritty, and I think I had to say 3, 2, 1, let it rip, 3 or 4 times every recording
fuck
session,
yeah.
which I loved. I absolutely loved being part of Beyblade. Oh man, that was such a great experience being part of that show. But yeah, sometimes I would yell, sometimes I would have to be at such a low register and yell so loud that I guess the worst it would get is I would just lose my voice, but it would only be gone for an hour, maybe a little more at the most. When I was a kid, I would lose my voice constantly, but I had a vocal coach actually in high school who taught me these techniques on how to not lose your voice, and if you do, it'll be much easier and faster to recover after you've done them, which is great. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, those are probably pretty helpful exercises, especially in a show like Beyblade where there is a lot of screaming.
Very much. So yeah, it's yeah, for sure. And a lot of anime, like you said. Like I also record with. Do you guys know Brian Drummond? Like I record with him. He's also in Last Kids on Earth, and he was the OG voice of Vegeta. You know the guy that says over 9,000. Like that's him. That's not Chris Sabat.
We know who Vegeta is. Don't condescend to us. Jeez, look
Yeah,
at
he's
this
like
guy.
the voice actor, not the character. Like, you know who Chris Sabat is, Kaya?
Oh, sorry.
Nah, I
He's
know who
the
Vegeta is.
Funimation. Yeah.
Oh, take that, Brian Drummond.
They're both awesome dudes. But yeah, like I bet Brian could like tell you a ton of stories, just like about like the amount of screaming he had to do, and with him like. His voice is like he's actually goes really high pitched for his Vegeta because Chris Sabat's Vegeta's like down here and Brian's Vegeta's like all the way up here. So
You're
His
really good at
impressions
that.
are
Jesus.
spot on.
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounded like it to me. It sounded like a video or an audio clip Kaya was piping through for a second.
but basically yeah, like it really just you gotta like basically consider how your vocal register in terms of like how badly you're gonna end up damaging your vocal cords basically, and you know how far you're willing to go and how safe you think it is to go in a certain direction.
That makes
So what
sense.
happes when you push it to the absolute limit?
He
Do
goes
you, like,
to
make
the
that, like,
limit.
yeah.
Basically what happens is you could run risk of vocal straining and injury. I remember there was an anime called Excel Saga, which is from like, oh man, it's old. It's like 2000, 2001. And the lead voice of Excel had to get replaced halfway through the series because she injured her voice so bad that she couldn't voice act for a really long time. She's back now. She was actually in Hellsing Ultimate, which the
Great-
Hellsing Ultimate
great show.
Abridged, which you were a part of actually, I think, Charlie, right?
I was,
Yeah, and Zach was
Wait,
too.
you were?
Zach was too. He played Satan.
Oh, you got a good role. I played like bubble number 20 or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I talked to Takahata 101 here and there on Twitter. I've never met the guy, but he lives in
He's a great
Vancouver
guy.
too. I know there's so many creators in Vancouver that like I know of that I just like haven't met. The only one I've met in person is YMS, yourmoviesucks.org. He's awesome.
Another friend of the podcast.
Yeah. I know.
I was going. Fuck, I was gonna ask something about anime and I fucking forgot it now.
That's
it's
like your
okay.
whole life.
You can
That's
always,
not true. Anime.
you can always, you know, think about it and then try and remember it. Exactly.
I remember what it was now. Pro ZD, because we were bringing up anime. Pro ZD's
Oh yeah,
been on the
Sungwon,
podcast.
Sungwon
yeah.
Cho.
Yeah. So when Sungwon was on, we did a little voice acting competition, if you boys remember, and I recall sweeping that with my Squidward. Can you do a good Squidward impersonation, Nick?
Oh god. A lot of the SpongeBob voice. I don't know. I see. This is the thing. When I don't practice voices, I don't like to be put on the spot because I know I feel like I'm gonna like embarrass myself by not being able to.
makes you feel any
give you
better-
a refresher.
Yeah,
He'll show you
there's
how
no
to do it.
competition here, Nick.
Daring,
Don't worry about it.
daring
retired.
today, aren't we? I don't know. Let's.
That was already infinitely better than Charlie.
I've retired.
What about
It's like
We serve food here, sir. I don't know.
Flawless.
I tried on my on my first try. I never do Squidward, so that's like
Yeah.
there's some voices you just kind of have to practice at in order to do them really well.
in practice, you have. Yeah,
I-
absolutely. The
I-
training that went
yeah.
into the Squidward for me, it's expensive.
I think Sungwon actually said on the podcast, but voice impressionists and voice actors are actually two completely different roles. Did he talk about
Oh
that?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think we
it's-
talked about it a little bit.
What matters most is being a really good actor. Like funny voice is second. I remember back when I first made my demo. I'm actually in the process of creating another one. All that mattered was how far your range can go in terms of just like funny voices. Now, first couple of snippets show your best acting chops, and then do the funny voices. Like then like show them like your range basically.
Do you think it's because of a shift in the landscape for voice acting now, where back then it used to just kind of be you'd get voice actors or just whoever on a show, but now it's like all these cartoons and animated shows are like featuring this guy and with this actor.
They're
and
also
this
taken more
actor.
seriously,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think Andrew that's actually definitely a part of it, and Jackson like as well. But I think the
Teamwork.
yeah, exactly, like teamwork. But I think honestly the biggest part is probably just the quality of writing in kid shows has gotten like so like much more, I guess, much closer to like live action, like and have you noticed like a lot of kid shows are almost all of them are serialized now. I think the only one that's like gotten popular recently that like my show Last Kids that's serialized. I think the only one I can think of that isn't serialized that recently came out is Glitch Techs. You guys heard of Glitch
Never
Techs?
even heard of that.
It's
Sounds like something that would have competed with Bakugan.
Yeah.
No, it's a Nickelodeon show that got put on hold for like 3 years, and Netflix. It came out on Netflix, like a couple months ago, and they got a 2-season order, and hopefully it gets more because it actually like visually looks really good. I love the art style. But I think at the end of the day, just the quality of the writing has gotten much more real. Like I remember, you know how Avatar: The Last Airbender like was I think honestly, Avatar: The Last Airbender was kind of the progenitor of that. It was the first.
Great show.
Yeah, no, it's one of my favorites of all time. It's one of the first like kids. Well, I guess you'd call it kids, but like anyone can watch it. Kids Western animated shows that had, you know, this like insane level of serialization and this very realistic way of storytelling, and now everyone wants to try to have their own Avatar: The Last Airbender. Everyone wants to.
What about Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo. You know what? That is a good question because Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated exists.
You don't have to humor
and
it. No,
that
it
is
wasn't.
also serialized, and that also has a realistic style.
I don't even think it was a good question.
No. That actually, that also has a realistic style of writing. That also is serialized, and it's considered to be the best Scooby-Doo
Realistic?
show ever.
Yeah, see, I was right. And
I know.
Freddie Prinze Jr. played Freddy.
It's actually
the live action.
in the live action.
was
Yeah,
great.
I have a lot of nostalgia for that. In the show, it's
Those live action movies were actually
Frank,
pretty good.
Yeah, in the show it's Frank Welker. Did you guys hear that? I think. Oh man, the Scooby-Doo live action movies are a trip because like I saw both of them in the theater, and when they came out, did you guys know that Tim Curry was actually going to play Rowan Atkinson's role, but apparently he turned it down because he found out Scrappy-Doo was the villain. Even though like their main goal in the movie was to just like completely destroy Scrappy-Doo because everyone working on that movie and everyone else knows like Scrappy-Doo sucks. But Tim Curry, I just think, wasn't having it. So
No.
Yeah.
Tim Curry was the man. Nigel Thornberry, right? That was Tim Curry?
Yes.
He still
He's
is
awesome.
the man. He's just
Among other
I
things.
I sort of
a bad
kind of met
place.
him in person. It was more so my brother. I was just kind of in the presence of him, but he's really sweet. He's a really nice guy, and he's recovering.
When did you happen to meet him?
He had a stroke a couple years ago, but he's recovering really nicely. Yeah,
he's in a wheelchair now, right? Because of it.
Yeah, but he's doing much better now. Like he can
Well, that's
actually.
good. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Tim Curry is, in fact, the fucking man. Every role he's in, he sells it like crazy.
Oh,
Also
dude,
a
it's
voice
so good.
actor as well.
Oh, he's a fantastic voice actor. Yeah, he's God. There's this role in Young Justice he plays. God, I think it's like Godfried or something, which is it's like an Alex Jones type like character where do you guys know Young Justice?
No.
No.
I know Alex Jones. He's
I know
he's
Alex
kinda
Jones,
like Young
yeah.
James,
Justice.
I think
Love
James
him.
Arnold Taylor
Yeah.
plays him in the newer season, but like he had this like very kind of like scummy suave, if that makes any sense, like scummy but also suave, like oh yes, that's actually
So
just doing
he
Nigel
was Tim
Thornberry.
Curry. He was just Tim Curry. Yeah.
Spice. Have you guys seen that video of like him in the 90s, like doing like this full
yeah.
motion video Sega CD thing where it's like, and now I shall go to the place where no one will ever be able to find me. and then he's trying not to laugh at the line. He's just like, space.
I think that's Command and Conquer. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Command and Conquer.
Yeah. It's
Fuck, I
just
don't
he's
remember
just
that at
very
all.
he's so good at voices where it's just like smug and smarmy and like kind of
Yeah.
evil, he's just so good at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you get? And,
Speaking of good at it, Andrew.
Yeah.
I know
I was
you
gonna
got something
say,
you wanted to say.
I got something that's really good at something. That
Oh
would
wait,
be,
Andrew, before you,
yeah.
sorry, I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to say, what's the? Oh yeah, did you guys know that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is the voice of Donnie?
Donnie.
Yeah,
yeah.
He put he put
Yeah.
actual like hot shit in his mouth to make those noises.
Did he
right?
actually?
Yeah, I
Wow.
watched like a
Yeah.
Nickelodeon thing on it when I was a kid. I was blown away. I was like,
I-
wow. I don't know who this guy is, but man, he's eating peppers, and that shit's wild.
That is pretty wild. Sorry, Andrew.
But when I
no,
recommend
please,
that for
was
our podcast, none of you want to do it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Did you-
It's a
you
bad
guys
idea.
did do
I
it.
don't really
You
want to
guys
be
did it.
Donnie on the Wild Thornberries.
Yeah,
You know,
that's exactly right. Nick's right. We've already done it. We don't have to do it 20
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah,
point?
we do. It's,
Come up with
it's a
something new and
tradition.
exciting.
Okay, put it in your ass, Jackson. I don't know. I recommended something new. I came up that we all come up with disgusting recipes for smoothies to blend together, and we each have to drink them. You guys shot that down too.
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
Why
bad
is
idea.
it? Why is it all about consuming gross shit?
Because people like seeing us in
Yeah.
pain. You know, this is true.
It's epic,
Do they?
Jackson. It gets
That's
it gets
life, man.
views.
Once a
The
year. they do.
algorithm enjoys it very
Well,
much so.
I think that episode was like one of the least viewed episodes
Oh,
within
never,
the first 10
never
weeks.
mind. YouTube's algorithm changes like it changes socks. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, let's drop the idea of putting ourselves in pain and maybe put ourselves in pleasure, comfort,
Style.
enjoyment, style. Charlie mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about something that does something well or is good. Well, I think that Raycon earbuds do something well. They give you a great price point for amazing sound quality of your music with cool colors and designs. Charlie, I actually know that you specifically have some pairs of Raycons. What do you think of them?
Oh, I fucking love them. Yeah, I use them out. I use them all the time when I work out. And since gyms are closed now because of quarantine, I still use them to work out in my home. I think it's just very convenient, a good fit. They don't fall out. They're not intrusive. Yeah, just a big fan. I always preach the good word.
I've got a list of celebrities here who also endorse Raycon to help you guys understand just how high quality these things are. I'm going to pick this one. Mr. Snoop Dogg uses Raycons. That motherfucker known for cooking with Martha Stewart uses Raycon earbuds. And if that doesn't convince you that they're high quality, then no celebrity on earth will. Raycon offers their wireless earbuds in a range of fun colors and patterns. They're super comfortable and come with a variety of fit options. Compact carrying case can charge earbuds 4 times on a single charge. And unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycons are stylish and discreet, no dangling wires or stems. So they're very good for video chats or, I don't know, screaming at them on the subway,
Working out.
making people think that you're insane. Working out, another good one.
That's the
Raycon earbuds. Go ahead.
That's the most benefit I ever got out of wireless headphones. Honestly, in my opinion,
That's
because
exactly
when I
what I
use
said.
wired ones, I have to use these because of the interface that I'm using. But I don't like these for anything else. I use my Raycons. When I work out, I used to have to, kind of stick my phone in my waistband, tuck it in there, so I can still listen to my metal music while I'm working out. I don't have to. I can leave my phone literally anywhere in the house. Sometimes I want to change the song and I have to go looking for the phone because I don't even know where it is because I don't really have to care. That's the comfort you can do.
Raycon
everything.
is saving lives. You could literally kill yourself by using wires while working out. You could trip over and
Or strangle yourself to
the
death
dumb-
with them. Yeah.
I've been there almost.
They're saving lives.
I am
This
also
happened
a
a few
man who
times.
Yeah.
I'm also a man who I pretty much primarily use earbuds for working out again because there's no wires and there's no big fucking cans on your head. So Raycon's pretty good for that. Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of other premium wireless earbuds. They sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. They're great for working from home, working out, listening to music, podcasts for hours without driving your roommates, your children, your significant other, your neighbors crazy. Their everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. There are so many great adjectives for these. They're fucking unreal. They're space technology. You can go to buyraycon.com, raycon.com/official for 15% off of your order. That's brought to you by Raycon. Get 15% off of your order at buyraycon.com/official. Mr. Wolfhard, do you think that if you were wearing Raycons and you were approached by a mob of fans, a gaggle of fans wanting an autograph, you'd be able to say, sorry, people, I can't sign your stuff right now. I'm busy listening to my favorite song on my Raycon earbuds.
Well, if that fan base existed, the question is, if I've actually have been looking genuinely. I have been looking for a pair of earbuds to work out with because my mom is like on my back whenever I wear like over the top wireless ones because she's like you're gonna kill yourself going across the street trying to get to the gym. So that would actually
I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. That I'm genuinely considering that now. That could be actually a really good investment.
Great. Well,
Wires kill.
Wires kill. Yes. # wires kill.
Yeah, sorry. Buy raycon.com/official. 15% off.
Kaya, when you went up to take a leak right there, what is on your chair? During your tinkle break, I was wondering because there's like
The
pink
shirt?
fondue. Oh, it's a shirt.
It's a shirt.
It's like
I
is it a
this, I guess
design?
it's not really
Oh,
gonna
I
be
thought it was like
conveyed
the
on.
book.
So this is an old shirt that has some sentimental value for me. It's kind of ripped up and
Oh, Jesus. Is that like the poster? Oh, no.
no.
that?
So this used to be my favorite shirt, but then my mom accidentally spilled some bleach or something on it, so it has all these stains.
Why is that sentimental?
Hang on.
That's a shitload of bleach to spill. Jesus
When did you get attacked by a bear?
That looks like
Okay,
that
let me
looks
tell
that
the
looks
story.
like that looks like
now.
Jude
You
that
should
looks
put it
like
on.
Jude's
It'll make
resume in
sense.
16. You guys
So
know
this
16?
used to be my
like the
favorite
shows?
shirt.
Yeah.
It was a decent shirt. My mom spilled bleach on it, destroyed it, ruined it. So I just started wearing it around the house because it's super comfy. But I also have cats. So every time my cat climbs on me, he really likes sticking his claws in me and just doing that netting thing.
I feel that.
You guys
Yeah.
know with the cats?
Yeah,
Right,
oh
so
yeah.
all of these
Yeah,
holes are that little shit destroying my shirts slowly over the years. And so when I moved to Germany, I kind of wanted to keep the shirt just as a keepsake.
As like a memento,
Oh.
right? Yeah.
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 You should wear it now.
How,
Put it on.
Oh god.
I'm not taking
yeah.
my shirt off for you right now, Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah,
This is our first video
the
call where we
podcast
can see
video
each other.
demonetized.
Yeah.
Oh, would it?
That's so cute.
How long have you had that
Probably.
shirt for? Like realistically, like
Oh, years, I don't know.
Oh.
Since before
Well,
I had my cats, and they're like the oldest one is 6 years old, so quite a while.
wow.
Ooh, that is an old. That is such a more wholesome origin story than your cum poster. I was really expecting like a gross story, like I used to wipe my
Yeah,
ass
same.
with this.
I mean,
Yeah, then he drapes it over the back of his chair so he can sleep in it. And
One of the,
Yeah,
one
I
of
love
the
to
few
smell my
things I
ass.
don't know about this podcast, and I'm good.
The cum poster.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to know about that.
That's fair.
you can
Yeah,
buy
It's
it.
the most famous part of the
it's
podcast.
the start of Kaya's
That's not true.
supervillain
Board
origin
Burgers
story.
is the most famous part of this podcast.
That's what
Oh.
I'm saying, baby. See, it lives. I haven't told that joke in like 2 years, and it still lives on in the
Maybe.
hearts and minds.
Perhaps you should.
It still haunts.
I don't even know why you stopped because like the idea is obviously like it got old after a while. No, it got old after like the second time you did it. You should have just kept it going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
That's my
called
opinion.
coming out. Exiting while you're on top. The Board Burgers joke is timeless.
It's true.
I could still tell it today to the same uproarious applause and.
Can
you still remember
You
it?
should
Do
do
it.
it
Word for word.
next time you guys have like a really like actually famous celebrity guest. You should actually do it.
That's not happening.
So
No,
now-
it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
No, see, this is
it's
what
done.
happens.
I've retired it.
I
It's
tell
done.
him to do
yeah,
it, he
no,
doesn't do it.
It's. I totally get that. Like, if it's one of those things that like was perfect at the time and could never be replicated again.
I love it when people call the Board Burgers joke perfect. That's what I've been saying.
So do it. You keep finding excuses. There you go.
That's not happening. We retired on top. It's like Mick Foley. The Board Burgers joke was used and abused, but you know what? Now he's done. He's taking a break. A long hiatus.
Makes sense.
Fine.
Does everyone? Does anyone here even know Mick Foley? Because
I've
feel
heard,
like
I've heard of him.
Jesus.
I forgot
Mr.
what he does.
Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. Come on. Come
Okay.
on.
Like GG Allen,
Yeah, of
let's
course.
say. You quit on top.
yeah.
Or rather,
I don't know
on
that
the
person
bottom.
though. GG.
GG. Yeah. We just talked about him. He was a
They're more or less
madman.
the same person.
Oh,
Who, Jesus?
Do you
or-
want to insult Mick Foley
No,
like
Gigi
that?
Allen and
though?
Mick Foley.
Oh.
I gotta search up who I know who Mick Foley is, but like I gotta search up like what.
He was most famous for getting thrown off the top of the Hell in a Cell against the Undertaker. It was like a
Oh,
huge
that
giant.
I thought he was
Yeah.
most famous
Yeah.
for shitting on his fans.
That's
No, it's
Gigi
Gigi
Allen.
Allen.
Mick Foley.
right.
Oh yeah,
Gigi
no, no,
Allen was in a
I
steel
love that,
cage
I
match
love
with
that,
Brock Lesnar.
that meme. That's like one of the few memes I love that like never ever gets old because nowadays memes are only good for like 48 hours at the most. But like the Mick Foley like Hell in a Cell meme where you just like tell this long ass story and then you end it saying like, and then Mick Foley jumped out of the Hell in a Cell.
I'm glad his legacy lives on. That man
Comedic
put everything
genius.
on the line.
Is he
He's-
dead?
He's
Is he
he's
dead?
on a book. He's on a
Oh.
book tour right now. I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
he's not.
What-
He's not dead.
What is his book
Wow,
about?
what
He's
about
just,
us?
he's just
How
retired.
fucked up he got wrestling.
Oh, yeah, he did get fucked. He would
Dude,
get
yeah.
thrown onto like beds of nails.
I mean,
he
if
had
you know you got you know.
Well, I thought wrestling was fake.
No, dude, some of the stuff he did during the Attitude Era of WWF, I think he's either one of the top or the top most injured wrestler in the entirety of the WWE.
I mean, if
He's
you get screwed
broken
up enough
tons
at
of
something, you might as
bones.
well
Jackson,
tell
it's-
stories about it. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
needed to be a
fake.
book.
Kaya, your webcam is frozen on my end, by the way.
Oh, I can
I think he's just
restart it.
very still.
Yeah, if you
Yeah, I
don't
thought
mind.
it was like super stern. he was looking at Nick Wolfhard like, "Where was your homework?"
There
Is
we
it
go.
working now? Okay.
Yeah,
No, I was
you're
gonna say, so just because it's,
It's
fake,
flaggy,
the
but yeah.
fake part means they're not hurting each other, but they're still hurting themselves with those
No,
stunts.
I
right?
get that,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between like why even pretend for it to be fake if you're gonna
Well, it's-
throw someone on a bed of nails?
Well,
It's characterization.
Yeah, Jackson, it's not. You're looking at it.
but
fake.
there's nothing fake about being thrown onto nails.
Jackson,
That's what I'm
Jackson,
saying.
Dude, I
Jackson,
love
you're looking
tinnitus.
you're looking at fake in the wrong perspective. A lot of people get mad at wrestling for being fake because they're like, that guy didn't really try to kill him, and they're not really hurting each other when they punch each other. It's like, no, it's theater. But at the same time, they're not faking throwing each other
What
around
kind
and
of
taking
theater
falls.
throws the lead opera singer onto a bed of nails?
Wrestling.
A good
That's the
one.
point.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
opera I'd go see. That's a musical I'd
Like
join.
people get mad because they're like, wait, that punch didn't hurt him. He's acting, and it's like, yeah, they want to make the punch look like it hurt him. That's the whole point.
I remember that was like.
But what I'm saying is this doesn't sound fake if they're actually throwing people on beds of nails. That sounds pretty fucking
I remember-
ability,
I remember
the
in
physical
elementary
ability is
school-
real.
I remember in elementary school it was like the biggest deal ever. It was like, well, wrestling's fake, but like every one of my friends loved wrestling anyway, because like, I don't. It's
Yeah,
just
it's-
fun.
it's
Like I was
awesome.
one of the few who wasn't like into it, but I wish I was because I saw it later on in my life, and I was like, this is amazing. This is like hilarious.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
love
dude.
this.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Who cares if it's real
know.
or fake? It's stunt choreography with stupid plot lines attached. How's that bad at
Oh,
all?
stupid! I see you didn't use pay-per-view back in the early 2000s.
Are you telling me that the plot line
Elitist.
where Stone Cold Steve Austin holds a gun to Vince McMahon's head so he'll piss himself, and then when he pulls the trigger, a little flag comes out that says "bang" isn't stupid?
Did you see the
If it was Mick Foley, it would have been a real bullet.
Did you see the clip recently where Stone Cold had to was like, you know, telling like a story, but there was like no audience obviously. You know, he's like telling the story, and then there's this dude that just like yells out at him, and like Stone Cold just goes, "What? What?" Like,
Oh, is this during quarantine when they're
Yeah,
still
y-
doing like empty theater?
yeah, you saw that, right? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
okay, I
there
know
was
what
just
you're
the
talking
big
about.
empty. I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
yeah.
But to your
know,
point,
they
Andrew, I
know.
don't think every plot line is stupid. There was a pay-per-view episode my parents paid for when I was a young boy. I don't remember the exact intricacies of the plot line and the character development, but in the end, it was someone had to kiss Rikishi's asshole.
Yeah,
in order to
they
get
got stink
talked
faced.
about this.
Yeah.
Is
No, they didn't get stink face.
Rikishi the crazy dude that goes?
No, he's the big sumo wrestler guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay,
has the stink face.
Who am I-
the
who am
stink
I
face where
thinking
he'd
of?
rub his ass. And then Charlie, do you remember his character arc where he joined the hip hop crew and he would start doing breakdance moves with his fat ass? Do you remember that?
No.
There was
And
Scotty. It was Scotty Too Hottie and the other guy, Wild J or something, and they would do the worm and breakdance moves. And Rikishi one time came out with them in sunglasses, and he started doing the same shit, and that was like his next character arc.
No, but I mean, I remember that's where I learned about the female body during those pay-per-view events where they do like the money match. They'd have like two like Stacy Keibler fighting over a briefcase of money.
And Stacy Keibler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That's
You're telling
Vince
me
McMahon
that
for
the
you.
show. You're telling me that the show has great plot lines when I distinctly remember their Halloween episode one year, the giant Jumbotron got taken over and went to black, and you heard laughing, and they went, who took over the Jumbotron? Whose evil laugh is that? And it was Chucky, the doll. And he literally was like, hello, wrestling fans!
I remember that. I've seen that clip,
And
I think,
remember
yeah.
as a little kid, it scared me so bad I had to stop watching.
Then it's a good plot line.
Andrew
What do you
soiled
mean?
himself immediately.
You're proving my point. It's a fucking great plot.
One
It's
of
a dumb
those
soap opera. What's wrong with that?
Having
Yeah,
by
exactly.
stupid though,
It's
I don't
fun.
mean bad stupid at all though. I mean stupid fun. I love wrestling
Okay.
and it's
Although-
corny.
although
Yeah,
I will
corny.
say
corny
that,
is a better way to put it. Yeah.
Didn't Hulk Hogan and Macho Man actually have beef in real life? Like it's like it.
I know that Andre the
They all
Giant
probably hated each other.
I know
right?
Andre the Giant hated the Macho Man. I know that.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, and to the point where Macho Man thought that Andre the Giant was actually trying to like kill him and hurt him in their matches.
Oh man.
And what the fuck are you gonna do if Andre the
actually
Giant wants to
scared.
hurt you? You're fucked.
He's trying to get out of the ring, but they keep keeping him in there.
I miss Macho Man so much, dude. Like
he
I
was
wasn't even a
great.
wrestling fan, but like anytime I saw him like just do his thing, it was great. Like I remember in the first like Spider-Man movie, it would be like, you know, like the whole like Bonesaw is ready.
Oh, yeah, Bonesaw's
like, you're
ready.
going nowhere.
Bonesaw is ready.
I
Hey,
got
did
you
your
for
husband
3
make you that
minutes.
shirt?
3 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, he was great. He was real
So
good.
good.
How did he die?
Drugs, I think.
I love,
died
like, I
on the
love how
day
like
that
you're just
people,
like. No, but
that was
he,
a meme
the
for
poor
a while,
guy.
Jackson. He died on the
I
day
think
that
he had a
people
heart
thought the
attack.
rapture was going to happen.
Heart
He had a heart attack while
Drug overdose. I'm getting conflicting reports.
he had a heart attack. No, I remember that he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack while he was driving with his wife. His wife survived, thank God. But
Holy
he
shit.
he had a
that's
heart
rough.
attack and crashed the car. And I think he survived the initial trip to the hospital. Because I know that by that time I know that Hogan like visited him. I read a story of Hogan, like, maybe it was another time, but I think it was on his deathbed. Hogan visited him in the hospital and, like, patched everything up. So, that's all I know about that, yeah.
Where he solved his heart attack?
Yeah, he fixed him. He's back wrestling today.
And then Hulk Hogan killed him. That's how he died.
He died of a fucking snap neck.
Hulk Hogan got him. Hulk Mania went wild in the emergency.
So what's wrong with it though? I don't see how this is
They
different
would.
than any other soap opera.
You know they would. You know, like there's these diehard Hulkamania fans that like just do not give a shit about like human life whatsoever. Just absolute scum of the earth that would just, you know, they don't give it.
Yeah.
I bet Vince McMahon was probably like, all right, before he goes out, we're gonna need to get Hulk Hogan in there.
Vince
I
McMahon.
guarantee, I
by the
guarantee
way,
you, Macho
Nah,
Man was on his...
it wasn't televised. It was.
Macho
I don't
Man
know
was
if you
on
guys
his
saw
deathbed
this.
God,
with a-
you know, God, I hope it wasn't that. I'd love to believe that it was Hogan
I
and
don't think it
Macho,
was.
just, you know, Randy Savage
So,
just patching.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but I think pro wrestling was considered an essential sport by one of your
Yes, in
states.
Florida.
And now Trump hired
Florida.
Vince McMahon on a board to reopen America. So Vince McMahon is now in an official government capacity working for
commissioner.
America. I really love that.
Florida's a kooky
It's
place,
fucking-
man. Our
it's
beaches also
wild.
just reopened. And that to me
I
is
always hear
fucking
crazy
insane.
stories about Florida. I've never
Yeah.
been myself,
Yeah.
but the stories I hear, oh boy. I'd like to
They're
visit
not-
just
Well,
out of,
you should
out of
come now,
curiosity.
Nick, because now's the best time. Our beaches were just reopened for some reason.
You guys are in Tampa.
Oh.
I saw the spring break video. I'm staying far away from that,
Yeah.
but you guys live in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, I mean, for real, if I'm ever in the area, I'd love to hang out with you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, for
By
sure.
all
I got a
means,
Reptar
of
bar
course.
with your name on it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, but to your point, Kaya, it is deemed essential. You can't go watch wrestling. You can only participate in professional wrestling. They can
Oh.
still tape it.
But that's even worse though. You're swapping like bodily like
Well, it's worse
actions
for
with each
them.
other.
but at
the
least
best
we
way
get the entertainment.
the best way to teach a kid that, like, wrestling is like not real, it's like it's all like a show, which there's absolutely nothing wrong
is
with
to
that.
put them in the ring.
No, it's to watch.
let 'em take a few blows.
There's a Futurama episode that covers it perfectly, where Bender becomes a professional wrestler, and it goes into like purposely
Bender
winning
the
matches, and
Offender.
whoever's more
Yeah.
popular will cause that character, like persona, to lose the next match. Except in this case, because it's robot wrestling, it can be totally for real.
Yeah,
and by the
pray
end of
for
it,
the
it
day
just
we
ended
get
with
that.
Bender just in like a flat pancake. It was great.
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to
love
watch
Futurama.
a show like that, it might not be on Netflix because that might be something that Netflix is showing in a different area. Isn't that right, Kaya?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're taking a sip of water now? God damn it.
No,
I can see that now.
It's owned by Disney now, but I think it's on Hulu. I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu, and then The Simpsons is on Disney Plus. I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if they actually move Futurama to Disney Plus as well. I think they'll definitely keep Family
Hope so.
Guy and the other Seth MacFarlane shows on Hulu just because they're more adult. But Futurama, I
Right.
could definitely see them moving to Disney Plus.
Well, I was actually using that as a segue to maybe talk about a service where you could watch other countries' Netflix services.
Oh,
And I think
Yeah, I mean,
Kaya
if you
is
want to
very
watch
passionate
Netflix and
about it.
everything, so that's what I was about to say is everybody makes fun of wrestling because it's just this man-child soap opera to them, but the same people, you're on Netflix watching Riverdale, Dear White People, whatever, all of these ridiculous soap operas, you're not any better, so join the rest of us. Have some vices, man. Just watch your soap opera on Netflix, on Hulu, on Disney Plus, on Amazon Prime, whatever you want, but some of them are just region locked, some of them release a couple of hours early. For example, I think I get new episodes of Better Call Saul earlier than you guys, and I stay up past midnight just so I can watch it because I love Better Call Saul. And I don't have to worry about, the region lock nonsense because I have ExpressVPN, Andrew. That's why I get it early.
That's right.
Because of expressvpn.com/official. And I can go on there, I can keep myself nice and private, I can change my region, I can watch whatever the hell I want, I can... As far as I know, Hulu lets me sign up and pay, but then once I'm on the website, after I've paid, they tell me, oh, sorry, Hulu's only available in America. So they do that scummy shit, but thanks to expressvpn.com/official, I don't even have to care. I can watch whatever I want. I get games early, I get my TV shows early, which, by the way, Better Call Saul season finale this week. Get your expressvpn.com/official and watch it early, like I do.
Yep.
I don't even know what
and
else.
that's not the
Oh, yeah.
only...
Three free months. I know. I always forget the deal because as I say,
It's okay.
I like paying for it.
There's also the other side of having a VPN. For those of you who don't know, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and private is very specific in there because it will also help you protect yourself from security threats over the internet.
it's
One of the
military-grade
easiest
encryption,
ways-
isn't it?
I believe so. It's one of the easiest ways to one of the easiest ways to secure your internet data is with ExpressVPN. You click one button on your computer or smartphone, and you're protected. That's it. So change your region, watch Netflix and other streaming services wherever you want, and also secure yourself and your connection and data with ExpressVPN. 3 months for free at expressvpn.com/official. Protect your internet today with the VPN that all of us trust to keep your data safe.
Yes, and you shouldn't trust the
I just
government with
finished-
your
Amen.
data.
I just finished Breaking Bad like 6 months ago because I found
Great
out that
show.
it's that and Avatar: The Last Airbender are my favorite shows of all time. And my dad and my mom are like, my dad especially is a huge Better Call Saul fan, and I asked him like, how does it compare to Breaking Bad? My dad said he likes it better.
Yes.
Like, then Breaking
That's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
You like it better too, right, Kaya?
Yep. Well, I'd say it's at least as good, especially this most recent season.
Yeah.
Which again, kudos to whoever the
That's
fuck,
high
whoever is
praise.
running this shit. It's only getting better and better, and it's
Vince
fun.
Gilligan, dude, he's a genius.
I think
Yeah.
they're kind of different though. Like I've also
They're very
seen
different,
all of them
but-
for both. Yeah, I
you know,
don't think
when
it's
I-
fair to say it's.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
don't think
good
it's
thing,
fair
yeah,
to say
and-
like outright that it's better. I think the tones are kind of different, so they're almost kind of different shows in presentation. But at the same time, Better Call Saul is still absolutely excellent. Yeah, it's just if you're going in with kind of the same expectations, I wouldn't recommend it that way, because Breaking Bad is all this like crime drama and this and that, where Better Call Saul does. It's more of kind of the, I don't know, interactions of the characters specifically, rather than the
It's
whole
also
overarching
crime
plot
drama.
of, oh, look at all this shit.
Now
I don't
it
know
is
how to
crime
describe
drama.
it.
I'm not. I don't want to spoil it, but so give it a chance, because when it first came out, I also thought, who gives a shit about Saul? He's had like what 10 seconds of screen time. Who gives a fuck? Really, you're gonna make a show about this guy, about lawyering, about the law? Who's ever gonna watch this? And now I'm sitting there with my chips, eating my chips, going, holy shit, he filed an injunction. He did that behind
I'm
Kim's
telling you- I'm
back.
telling
Kim
you, man,
Wexler, he's betraying
Vince-
her.
Vince Gilligan
fun.
can like write or direct anything, and you will probably be interested in it.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure he also made
I'd buy it.
Hancock. He made Hancock.
Oh,
Did he make
made what?
Hancock? That's a
But I
great
liked-
superhero film.
dude.
I liked Hancock.
I like
Also,
Hancock.
I don't
I
think
did
he
too.
didn't direct it. I think he just wrote a draft of it. I'm not sure, but
What else did he do? His name, obviously, I've heard the
I
name
liked
from Breaking
Hancock.
Bad. Did he do? What? Well, apart from Hancock as well, what else did Vince Gilligan do? He wasn't attached to X-Files, was he?
I think he might have.
You
Did he
think-
do that? I think he did. Let me check.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
no,
That's
no.
where I thought I knew his name from.
You're thinking of what the fuck is his name? It was someone I actually just talked about. I don't
The
recall
wrestler?
now.
Or
No,
you mean
not
like-
Mick Foley.
Wait, is Kai talking? I
see.
can't hear him.
Oh, that's it, Vince McMahon.
He did. No, he didn't actually. He did a show called The Lone Gunman,
Who did X?
which I don't. Oh, okay. Here we go. The Lone Gunman is an X-Files spin-off, which he worked on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh well. Also, it turns out Vince Gilligan did do X Files.
Oh, he did? Okay, well, there you
go.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a great segue because the guy who plays Badger is also the voice of Wedge in the Final Fantasy VII remake, and
That's
he's
right, baby.
fantastic. He's
I love
so good as
Badger.
Wedge. Oh my god. His voice wasn't always like that. He's like given interviews. I don't remember the exact reason, but like years ago, it was much more, I guess, full sounding. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love the way his voice sounds. Like I love the way he can just like portray so many different characters. It's great for
That's
voiceover
unique.
too. Like it's super unique. I was talking to Zach.
Immediately recognizable.
Yeah, I was talking to Zach, the Psychic Pebbles, and he's been wanting to, get into voiceover. I was telling him like, well, like it's not, it's obviously, not your fault, but that's the voice, your natural voice is the voice that people are, gonna want to use because it's so like unique and like, and he was like, oh no, I totally understand. Like that's, he doesn't mind at all, which is great. Because seriously, having a unique voice is amazing because a lot of the time if you're a good actor and you have a unique voice like that, you may be using that voice almost all the time, but you will get work constantly. Like
Who's the guy?
a lot of the
The
time.
guy from Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat.
the-
Mike Myers?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
No. Like the.
Dr. Seuss.
Jesus, what the fuck is his fucking name? He has a. I'm blanking on
Mr.
like
Rogers.
everybody's name right now. It's the guy who's very, very loud. He sounds like a drill sergeant. You know who I'm talking about? I think he played the
Yes,
dad.
yes. He was in he's in the Toy Story movies, and he's also in the Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, he's the drill
Yeah.
instructor.
Yeah.
He
What is your
always
major
plays,
malfunction, Private? That
Isn't
guy,
he
right?
dead?
He always plays a military guy. Yeah.
He's
He
dead,
he
as far as I
unfortunately
know.
he passed away.
Who's that
Unfortunately,
in Cat in the Hat?
he wasn't in Cat in the Hat.
Doesn't he play the? Doesn't he play
Yeah,
the
out
dad
of
in
all
Cat
of
in the
his
Hat?
illustrious roles, Charlie, you go for Cat in the Hat.
He was also in Seven.
about
He
him?
played the
Yeah.
police chief in Seven
Oh,
with Brad Pitt, and he
Well,
was
who cares about
excellent
that,
in
Nick? He was in Cat in the Hat. That's all that
I was
matters.
wrong.
All right.
I was wrong.
Was he in Cat in
Alec
the Hat?
Baldwin.
He was not in Cat in the Hat.
Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec
It
Baldwin
was Alec
in
Baldwin.
Cat in the Hat.
If he was
it's not
in
even
Cat in the
close.
Hat, I would know. I also saw that movie in the theater.
Really? That's
Yes, I did.
Sad statement.
Yes, I did.
I love that movie.
It's so wild. It's like I legend like you can't.
It's horrifying.
But it's
not
so
gonna
was-
feel
it
yeah,
was
but
so
like
bad
it's
that
so
it,
entertaining. Like it's so entertaining though.
Dr. Seuss is dead, but that movie was so bad, his wife said
Yeah.
that it is the reason they will never make another live-action Dr. Seuss movie.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
that
Yeah.
that like for like anyone related to Dr. Zeus, like that movie is like a sin, and like honestly, I can totally see why they think that. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
I think it's a
Well,
good
think
legacy.
about it.
Didn't
You
he
have
also
a book
cheat on
that
his
takes
wife?
like
kids.
I mean, if you just look, I mean, just
You-
visually look, like compare it
Well,
to the
think about it. You
book,
have a-
compare it to the book. The
Which
picture
takes,
book,
like,
and compare it
7
to, and then
minutes to
compare the movie
read.
to the picture book, and you'll see
Yeah.
immediately. Like,
How do you
oh
stretch
yeah,
a
I see why.
7-minute book
I see why she's pissed at this.
into an hour-and-a-half movie? Yeah. Also, Kaya, the thing with Dr. Seuss is he used to make racist caricature drawings during World War II.
Oh,
That's okay,
God.
but didn't he
He was
also cheat on
very
his wife?
anti-Japanese.
yes.
I'm looking it up
Yeah.
because I got curious. I think I remember hearing that as well.
That
But
sucks.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys ever bought the DVD for Cat in the Hat, but I did. In the DVD, they had deleted scenes. In one scene, the Cat in the Hat is slip and sliding down a hill, reading a naughty magazine. And he turns it towards the camera, and it's the mom in a bikini. And I used to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
that in slow motion and freeze it there so I could look at her.
Oh, the things kids
Alright.
will try to do, when they first discover
Yeah, it was a different
those
time.
kinds of things.
Yeah. So desperate for
It-
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did cheat on his wife, by the way, when she had cancer.
Are you
She
kidding
had
me?
cancer,
What an
no less.
asshole! What an
I didn't know about that
asshole!
one.
What a
Oh.
stellar
Yikes.
person.
I don't think that's-
Racist caricatures and cheating on your wife while having cancer? What an asshole!
Yeah, that's
Like
rough.
seriously, oh my
and Cat in
god.
the Hat.
and the live action Cat in the Hat.
That's the one that gets me.
Yeah, we can put that on him as well.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, yeah, that's sad to know. I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he did some sketchy things.
I
and
didn't even
thought
know
I
any of
remembered
that, but now that I know it, I'm viewing him in a different light. Like I think
A lot of those,
yeah, I think I vaguely heard voice crack. I think I vaguely heard about the cheating while on cancer thing, but while having cancer, but I didn't remember if it was him. So it kind of just like flew to the back of my mind. I guess because I didn't want to believe it was Dr. Zeus, but then I remember, oh god, it was Dr. Zeus. No.
I think most people associate all of that like degeneracy from family stuff onto Walt Disney because that's
Yep.
so well known that he did some shitty shit.
Yeah.
So I think most people
What did
just
he
take
do?
all. What the fuck do you mean? What did he do?
Nah.
What,
I'm not
did he cheat on his
I'm not
wife?
getting into this. You guys talk about this.
Oh yeah. That's probably tough territory
Yeah.
given the
Yeah.
field.
So
there,
anyway,
Walt
to
Disney-
So is
summarize,
Dr.
we love
Zeus.
Walt
Alright.
Disney, and he was an icon of all cultures. That's the end.
Speaking of Disney Plus,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
there's a lot of that in that industry.
So I've got a question for you, Nick, to move on more to the regular acting side of things. Do you have any interesting stories from that people might not know or think about, or things that have happened or you've done in that line of work that are interesting?
In terms of voiceover or on camera, because I've done both, though I mostly do voiceover.
Yeah, but
I-
any of your, because we talked about voiceover, I kind of wanted to push
On
in a
camera,
bit on the
you want to talk about on camera?
stuff.
I can tell you an
Yeah,
on-camera
yeah.
story.
Sure, that'd be great.
Sure. I remember, so I got the part in, it was like a bit part in this NBC show called The In-Between. And I was involved in like this murder mystery, my character. And, there was a scene, like we shot it in, I think we shot it in Squamish, which is like, like way farther like north of Vancouver. It's like 45 minutes to an hour away. And it was just this gorgeous setup with like the lights and like the fir trees and like the pine, and it's like raining. And what's fantastic is like they weren't causing the rain. It was just like totally like natural, and it was in the woods. It straight up looked like something out of a storybook or something. It was incredible. And the guy who I had to get dragged into a ditch. My character was getting dragged into a ditch, like by the neck of my shirt, and literally thrown like into a ditch. I had a stunt double. I think his name was Danny. Danny, I hope you're doing okay. But he was
Stunt
like,
doubles have it rough.
yeah, the dude who was dragging me was, I told him I could do it. Like they were actually kind of like concerned. They were like concerned about me, and I was like, guys, it's
What about Danny?
it's
Was
okay.
anyone concerned for him?
No, yeah,
You'd
no,
be
no,
shocked.
no,
man,
like
yeah.
obviously, like yeah, obviously, if you have a stunt double, always, no matter what, let them do their thing because that's their job. But they were like really, I guess, concerned even for the dragging part. But the guy that was dragging me, he's awesome, and he always plays these creature roles because he's really tall. He's I think he's nearly like 7 feet tall. And he used this like big giant like. Do you remember? Has anyone here played Kingdom Hearts? Do you know Organization 13?
Of course.
It looked like a mix of an Organization 13 jacket with the Grim Reaper, and it was so cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, and he was like the nicest guy ever, and he had like these fake fingernails that were like super long, and it actually kind of hurt. But only like a little bit because they were fake. But
I think I know a guy you're talking about. He played the fish in Shape of Water, right? It's that guy?
No. That's a different guy. He was the Goblin King in Legion.
Oh, Riverdale. Oh.
How many Goblin Kings are there?
Don't talk shit about Riverdale.
Goblin King is an X-Men villain, and he plays the dude in the suit. And it's like this amazing prosthetic work that they do, and like it's really genuinely horrifying. If you like search up the prosthetics of it in Legion, it's crazy. That's him in the suit. It's not him doing the voice, but that's him, and he does roles like that all the time, and so it's just one of those things where it's like there's a lot between someone who is a working actor and someone who's a celebrity, and most people, obviously, like 99, I guess obviously you can call celebrities working actors too, but working actors are usually, people that do it, they don't have the luxury of like a celebrity having to, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. they don't have the luxury of having
Goblin King,
like
gotcha.
so much money in the bank where they can like turn down roles in that, and if they have like a certain quality to their physical physique, they can really not exploit it, but that's like kind of their moneymaker. You know what I mean?
Use it to their advantage.
Yeah, use it to their advantage, exactly. And there's like, and that's honestly the best way to do it. Like, you need unique people on screen. Like that's why we watch stuff, to see things that we don't normally see, like at least the good stuff anyway. And that's not even just counting like their like appearance, but if it is, like you said, using it to your advantage, like, can be, well, a lot of fun. Like that's why a lot of character actors do it.
Yeah. Cool.
On the inverse, though, Cat in the Hat was extremely unique, and look where we got Mike Myers.
Well,
Is Mike Myers still alive?
Depending on how you consider alive, I don't think he's very happy.
That movie and The Love Guru were such big.
The Love Guru.
They were such big disasters. They killed his career, and now he's.
Well, you are misrepresenting. He quit.
Ah, yes, quit. Yeah.
Well,
really.
Quit. Yeah.
He quit because the executive said you should probably quit.
Probably,
He hosted the Gong Show, actually. Do you guys remember the Gong Show?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he hosted the new version of the Gong Show, and he was in like heavy prosthetics and like was putting on a voice, and he had a different character name, so you'd never know it was Mike Myers. He was in Bohemian Rhapsody recently as well. That
really?
He was in. He played like the agent. And I think
he had a real throwaway role in that for Mike Myers.
I think it's because
he
of
played
Wayne's
like
World.
A role that I would have had.
It's because of Wayne's World, like because that movie is literally what made that song hit the charts. Like
really?
Yeah, that song was not a hit when it came out, like at all. But when Wayne's World came out, it became a hit. It had a second wind because of Wayne's World. I'm pretty sure.
Was he in? I keep thinking he's in 1917 for some reason. I don't think so, right?
No, Benedict Cumberbatch is. Benedict Cumberbatch is in it for like a minute, literally.
Yeah.
It was cool to see him though. It was a nice surprise. But I love that movie.
Maybe I was thinking. Oh, he was in Inglourious Bastards. That's a war movie that.
Right.
Similar.
I remember that.
Yeah, he was.
I love that movie.
He was in it for like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Did you guys
movie.
see? I'm sure you've all seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
No.
Yeah, I didn't care for it very much.
Oh, yeah?
Personally.
I really liked it. I thought it was probably one. I loved Brad Pitt and Leo, both of them in it. I thought it.
Oh, they were both fantastic.
Honestly,
only
I think it may
thing-
have been like career best role for Leo specifically.
The only thing I know
That's a
about that
bold
movie
claim.
It is
is,
a well, what would you say? What would you say is like career best? I haven't seen The Revenant, so
Revenant's good. I'd say Catch Me If You Can. That's a classic.
Oh, that's
I still have to watch
Yeah,
Catch Me If You
well,
Can, the
that's so
Spielberg movie.
fucking
Yeah.
good.
A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
that Spielberg actually directed that. So
That's a great movie.
it's
Yeah.
a
That's
fantastic
a classic.
movie.
I still have to watch it. It's with Tom
Based
Hanks,
on a
right?
Dr.
Too?
Seuss book.
Tom Hanks is in it as well. He's in a lot of recent Spielberg movies, actually.
No,
He's in,
Tom
like,
Hanks is
3.
great, too.
That came out like in the 2000s and 2010s, and you know, with Spielberg, he only comes out with a new movie like every 5 years. So I mean,
He puts his name on like everything though. Like this is
Mm.
Spielberg's executive producer
you
for
can,
this.
yeah, you
this
gotta. I mean,
pile
it's,
of dog shit.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Sells.
yeah, it sells.
it does.
It's business.
Well-
It's business.
Yeah.
We've been going for like an hour 15. This is typically where we wrap up. Nick, is there anything you'd like to talk about? Shout out, because now's the time, baby.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there for a second. Did you say is there anything I wanted to shout out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Please plug your stuff. Talk
Oh,
about
sure. Well, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/thewolfhard. I'm also on Twitter, which is Nick_Wolfhard, and I'm on Instagram, which is the Wolfhard. And I also, if anyone's listening to this, I just want to thank everyone for watching Smiling Friends and Last Kids on Earth and keeping those shows alive and everything. And I hope you guys are enjoying it because we're going through some tough times right now.
Well, that was a very wholesome way of
You're
saying that
welcome,
off.
Nick.
Yeah,
Sweet.
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for thanking me.
Thanks,
You're
man.
welcome.
It's the Canadian
We really
blood.
appreciate you coming
It's the
on.
Canadian blood in me, I guess. I don't know.
He's a sweetheart. He came in saying like, "Am I being too friendly?" It's so nice. Just a real nice guy, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Yeah, it was super nice talking to you.
Oh,
Thank
it was
you very
great
much,
talking
Nick.
to you guys too. Totally.
All right, Jackson, you can send us out.
Well, I can't do as good as Nick just did, or be as kind, but thank you everyone at home for listening to this week's episode. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/theofficialpodcast, where you can listen to bonus episodes. There's a lot of content there to get you through the coronavirus outbreak, so go check that out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks for
everyone.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
All right, take us
I'll
in,
do the
someone.
intro.
Hello and welcome back to the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by It's just a lot of numbers and syllables, confusing to read.
Yeah.
He says, "It's all fun and games until Fitz dogs the boys."
It is true. It's very true.
Yeah, definitely true. Definitely true. We'll get into that in a second. I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Swagger Souls.
Hey, how are you?
Mason, aka Zuckles, is here as
What's
well.
going on, boys?
G'day. Jay, aka McCreamy, is in the
What's going
building.
on, everyone?
And joined everyone.
Why are you bullying me already?
And also joined by Matt, aka iNotorious.
What it do?
Yeah!
Yeah,
Matt!
Dan, he's back on the show. It's
Damn,
good to see
Daniel
ya.
back on the podcast again.
This is
Fuck
our
yes.
quarantine special. To the audio listeners, I'll point out to you right away that this is not a usual episode that you might be used to, at least not for a long time. We are all in isolation right now, in our private offices, talking over Discord like the good old days. So here we are. Obviously, the coronavirus is preventing us from being together, at least most of us kind of. So here we are filming things over Discord. And it is also, I believe, by the time this goes out, 420. Or at the very least, this is the 420 special.
All right.
So all the boys have a little cheeky something, to themselves over here.
Cheeky something.
Mason has just
Even
come back
Jay's
from
got
hitting a couple bongs. He's on the Ronas right now. Going to a party pretty soon. Even Jay.
It's not a party. It's a small gathering with about 5 people.
2 people max,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
It's just
that's
you and
right.
you're
You
just
can't
seeing another
call it a
guy.
party, man.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't call it a party given the circumstances. A small gathering of quarantined individuals who do not have corona and are not putting anyone else at risk. correct.
We got
Mason?
Corona. They have like 12 of them.
Wait, what?
Wait, really?
Beers.
Oh, the beer. Yeah.
Oh, the
very close.
beer.
Six pack.
Before we
Spark
spark up our various weed items here and get to having a good old time, I think it's probably a good idea just to briefly address the recent drama that I've been involved in. I'm sure that most of you have kind of already seen things come to like some kind of a close. I put out a statement on Twitter earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week by the time this comes out, just apologizing to Carson and everything. And I have been involved in some pretty hectic drama lately, which blew up to an extent that I didn't really expect, and I don't think that anyone else really expected either. It's pretty fucked. I've apologized for my mistakes. Obviously, I did at the end of the day dog the boys. Although I will say that, I just want to let everyone know that, I have apologized and explained myself to Carson privately behind the scenes, and things have sort of been worked out. And also, I just want to remind everyone that they don't really know the full story, and it's not really anyone's business at the end of the day to know the full story. So the place things are currently at is, look, like I own up to my mistakes and the things that I did, and I've apologized to Carson publicly and in private. And now it sort of seems that it's time to move on from this, because at the end of the day, it's a personal matter, a private thing. And
Yeah, it should have never been made public.
Yeah, well, not that I don't think anyone can blame Carson for making it public, but he's also put out a statement, that he regrets making it a public situation. But now it is public, and I guess the internet is going to have its way with it. Anyone who might be angry at me is free to feel angry at me,
That's me, by the way. That's me, by the way.
You said that like such a Karen. You're like, that's me, by the way. That's me, by the way.
But yeah, I would just keep in mind that, at the end of the day, it's not really your business, and that you don't know what happened, really. No one really knows what happened. And I'm not trying to say that what really happened makes me look better or worse. Very well could make me look worse. I'm not really sure. But it is what it is. Apologies have been sent out. It's more or less now at a place where we can kind of move on from this, I think. So that's kind of all I'm really going to say about it. We're not going to go into details and dissect things on the podcast. I've always said on this podcast that one of the most interesting things about witnessing other drama that YouTubers go through is the way that the influencers involved kind of turn it into content. They turn the drama into content. They're talking about it. There's back and forths, statements. This comes out. This comes out, and it kind of becomes a spectacle and entertainment. And I always found that to be just a really gross element to like personal drama being aired on the internet. It's never something that I ever wanted to be in a position to do. And so the way I've handled this is sort of just like work things out behind the scenes as well as they can be. Apologize publicly once it became public, and that's kind of all that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure, boys. So
yeah.
On that note, happy 420, lads. It's time to smoke some joints and talk about some bullshit, which is really what this podcast should be about, I reckon.
Exactly.
How's that sound? How's that fucking sound?
Fucking good.
Fuck yeah.
Oh.
I wish I had a doink here.
This is a good little J.
Not a bad little.
This is a spunky one.
Now here's what I'm wondering.
Even Jay's got a.
Oh, look at Jay!
Look at Jay's got a J. Look at him. Jay's sparking up a J.
Even Jay is sparking up a J. He's Tupac McGuff. He's gonna have a couple hits. Jay, like, have we really talked about your relationship with weed recently, or like how you've sort of been experiencing a little bit, or experiencing?
Dude.
Oh, do we want to hit?
Yeah, I mean, I could briefly go over how I peer pressured you to go back into it when we were in LA.
Yeah, I reckon Swagger's a dog.
Yeah, Swagger, how about you tell your story about how you convinced Jay to take a puff?
Nah, well, he's not even a dog.
Yeah, from my perspective, I am in no way a dog.
Nah, he's not a dog.
Yeah.
What ended up happening was we went to a dispensary while we were in LA for what was it? We were doing all the podcasts, and we were meant to do the live show, but that got canceled. We were in LA, and we were grabbing weed from a dispensary, and we're walking down the street going to a bong shop after we'd picked up the weed. And we had a couple of pre-rolls on us, and I was going to light one up as we were walking. And I go to Jay, I was like, why don't you smoke? Why don't you have like one puff or two puffs? And he was like, no, every time I've smoked weed, it's disagreed with me. And every time I've done edibles, it's disagreed with me.
Let's just
and
flash
like,
back real quick to like Jay's first experiences with weed, which was with me and Mason.
Go for it.
so
in
bad.
LA. We've told the story like on a very early episode of the podcast. Might have even been like episode 5 or something like that. But
Yeah.
it was when we were all in LA hanging with the FaZe guys. And fuck, man, we just took too many edibles there.
Too many edibles for
We
the
just took
first time, bro. Like
Too many fucking edibles.
Yeah, it was like your
And,
first time.
First time ever trying weed, and it was on edibles, and I thought that's what weed was.
How many micrograms?
So like when people say, "Oh, do you smoke weed?" I'm like, I'd say yeah, but think that it's edibles. That's how fucking bad it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jay hadn't even like hit a joint before this. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Like, your literal first
Bad way to
experience.
start, bro.
I don't know
Bad way
how-
to
Thanks,
start.
bro. Oh, thanks. Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Oh, now you're telling me.
I don't know how many like milligrams you started with, but it must have been like upwards to like the hundreds, perhaps.
Yeah, it was like 100 or 200, something like that.
Yeah, and it's LA edibles, you know, and these are edibles that sent even
It's
myself
some,
and, like,
it's some
Those things are
potent
so
shit.
potent.
some potent shit. The
Yeah,
brownie
some
that we
potent
ate
shit.
part of was a 1,000 milligram brownie, and it literally had like a dead guy on the packaging.
Yeah.
So,
was
I don't
me.
know.
Oh, like cigarettes.
It was a photo of me.
No, it was like a cartoon. It was like a joke sort
Oh.
of thing, like meaning that this is gonna fuck you up, sort of thing. I don't know
I
what we were
see.
thinking, giving a bit of this edible to Jay, but
Yeah.
it was.
Like the thing was, it was pretty pogging. Like for the first like, I don't know, like when it first kicked in, I was like, oh, this is hectic, and then I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
And then
it's fucked.
it kept going, huh?
It's too hectic. Holy shit.
Too hectic.
Yeah, but
So
anyway,
what were-
the point is
yeah.
that this is Jay's experience with weed up until now, and after
Yeah.
this, he was like, "No,
yeah.
weed's not for me. Never doing weed
'Cause
again."
Because, you know, you told me your initial experiences were with edibles, and then you said that you would have bong rips, and then that was also disagreeable. And I said to you, like, well, you don't start out with edibles, and you don't start out with bong rips, and, you know, because you have no tolerance. And I explained to him how, you know, how edibles work, like chemically, and how it separates itself from smoking THC.
Yeah.
So I won't get into. You can just watch Joe Rogan if you want to know about that. But I basically said, like, dude, just have one puff, have two puffs, see how you feel. And I passed him the joint, and he goes, all right. And then he said you'd be two puff McGuff.
Yeah,
And then you went for it.
it was like
And,
it was like when in Rome type thing, but like in LA. So because like that's where
Right.
weed is, heaps of weed. So I was like, yeah, fuck
You're
it.
like, "Well, I'm here. Like, fuck
I'm
it. What's the
here,
worst that
so
can
I
happen?"
might
Kind
as
of
well.
thing.
yeah, it won't be laced.
And
for
what,
sure.
and what was your experience like after hitting a couple puffs of that joint, Jay? What would you
Some
say?
fucking dude came up and started harassing
Yeah,
us.
the fucking dude. It was this fucking homeless guy, bro.
Yeah.
This we were with Mitchell. I don't know if we even
I don't
told
know if we
anybody.
did.
about
No,
this.
you don't.
Wait,
think
what
it-
is this? Where was this?
This was we were outside of a convenience store with Blue
Where?
Mitchie, who
Where?
this was in LA.
Oh, LA.
We were outside of a convenience store.
First day we get there.
It was me, Mitchell, Mitchie, Jay, and Blue, I think.
Yeah.
And everyone else besides me, Mitchell, and Jay went inside to a convenience store, I think to pick up Jewel Pods or something. And we're just sitting on the corner. I think we were smoking the rest of the joint. Some fucking homeless guy comes up to us, and he goes up to Mitchell, and he goes, "Oh, yo, man. Yo, titty's bigger than mine, bro." And Mitchell, and yeah, dude, legitimately. And Mitchell's like, I don't know, man. Your titties are pretty big. And the guy goes, "No, it ain't, bro. No, they ain't." And he pulls up his shirt. This guy is like, 2 mad size, and so he's squeezing his titty, going like, "Nah, bro. This is, it's whatever." And the guy was clearly mentally ill. I mean, he had an eye that was looking at you, and then
Yeah, it was, like,
going in
fucking
different
weird ass.
directions. And he ended up taking his shirt off, and then he started saying shit like as he was walking away. He kept like talking to us, even though he wasn't looking at us.
Yeah,
and he was saying like,
"Y'all white folk will fuck anything. Horses, cats, dogs." I'm like, "Whoa." Smokes
Yeah,
one
dude.
puff of a joint, and then this happens. Like, what?
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like
it
the
was-
best person to run into after having one
Yeah,
puff.
like,
man.
what the
it
fuck?
was a really good random event. The NPCs,
was.
dude, the NPCs in LA are fucking
They're
unreal.
Best in the
fucking
world.
nuts.
Best in the
They're
world.
honestly best in the world, bro.
Who was it? It wasn't like a homeless guy, but I had like some almost like skits guy following me down the street at night one time for like 3 blocks or something like that.
Should have
He was just, like,
fucking. You should
shouting
have
at
turned
me.
around to him, said "fucking."
No,
listen,
yeah,
cunt."
he was following me, and then we got to the
No.
Mason, you can't be saying that kind of thing.
Can't just say
Dude,
that
if
to
he's
people.
following him,
Well, maybe
Yeah,
he
But
was-
he's like a skits
What if
cunt, bro.
he's
You
just
just
like-
like
what
pull out
if
a
he's
knife
like,
and
"Oh,
like
I'm
go at
supposed
you.
to
You don't
know."
like aggravate him.
no, we're
Doesn't matter, mate. You just fucking headbutt him. Just straight in one.
He was following me though. We got up to like he was following me for like 3 blocks or something like that, and then we got to the crosswalk, and then I'm like, okay, surely let's see what he's gonna do, because I'm sitting there waiting. He's like yelling shit at me, and then he like gets up next to me and he stops. He's just like, oh, and then like the light changes. Then he's like, yeah, you better run, man. The fucking shit like that, like the fucking government, man, and shit like that. And I told Bucks the story, and he's like, where was this at? Like, what was he saying, like Hollywood or something like that? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, oh yeah, that shit happens there all the time. It's no biggie.
It's nuts.
That's fucking insane.
Fucking LA's nuts. The NPCs are grade A there.
I don't know how LA lets that shit happen. Like how they can just let schizophrenic people that are just like, fucking noshing their jaws in the air and screaming in public. I don't know how they like. Don't they get arrested for?
Don't they have police to kill those people?
Nah,
What's
mate.
going on?
Nah, the cops got better shit to do. Have you seen people play GTA?
Oh yeah, that's true. No, that's true. Remember when we were up in the fucking for TwitchCon? We were up in the Airbnb, chilling out on the patio, smoking weed, and right at the bottom of the hill, this Airbnb was on a big hill. At the bottom of the hill, we hear bang, 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 and then a fucking tire screech, and then fucking cop sirens, bro. Immediately right after, you hear a cop go
right.
whoop whoop, and
Random
then that was it.
Police.
And dude, we're all like, whoa. Those were 3 gunshots.
That was your
Please,
exact.
please tell me you actually made that sound.
Wait.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude.
Remember
Dude,
the fucking, who was there
literally
for
that.
the
What
helicopter in
fuck?
LA?
Me. When
Do you
the
remember?
fucking,
Do you
in
remember
the
when I
top
was
floor?
jumping around like in the spotlight?
Wait.
Yes, they were
wait.
shining
Wait, what?
spotlights into
You-
like our Airbnb where we were staying, and Mason was trying to get into the spotlight, so he got spotted.
I was there for that too, right? That was back.
No,
in the-
I was trying to jump out of the spotlight.
Oh, you're trying to hide from the.
This was back when we were
Why?
staying with FaZe, right? This was
FaZe,
that
yeah,
same
yeah.
trip. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Why
Yeah, I
was there
remember
a-
that.
Why was there a helicopter
Because
with a spotlight?
the people next door had guns and shit like on them.
What wasn't it something like someone like broke into one of the neighboring houses or something, or
Oh,
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
there was
fucked
something
up.
going on like in the hill behind the house, and there was just a helicopter overhead.
Yeah.
But I think we were all high as fuck, so we started getting paranoid that
no
it was about
idea.
us somehow.
There probably weren't even
Working at the house
helicopters.
party. It's probably just a kid flying his drone over he got for Christmas.
True. I mean,
Oh.
LA is crazy, man. You're just driving around.
LA's
Just the
fucked.
way some of the people look just
Oh.
walking around. There's such a variety of characters doing different things.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if we told the story or not, but I
Okay,
was in
buddy.
LA before the last trip. I think this was back in like November, December. We were in this RV. We're like going around the U.S. and shit like that. And at one point we were in LA. We're like driving up the hills, and all of a sudden we see like a guy like running, like almost barefoot. I think he's like running along the street, and then 2 guys were chasing him. We're like, the hell was that? We keep driving down, and then we look to our left, and there's a brand new like 2020 Toyota Supra, which is like a brand new sports car, like is hyped about. We see that crashed, like someone like wrecked it there.
I heard about
And
that.
Yeah, like the guy like hopped out of the car, and the guy was chasing him. He's like going up the hills and shit like that, and we kept driving, and then like the cops come up the hills too. I was like, this is like my first time in LA. I'm like, I didn't think like the GTA 5 shit actually happened like that. I was like, what the
From what I
fuck?
heard, that was like from what I've actually heard, like
Oh.
that exact same
Oh.
story. Apparently,
Oh, I don't know if we can say that.
I
though.
don't know
think
if
we can
that's
say that.
I
That's
wasn't-
us. We're sparing
Confirmed
them.
at all.
information. Unconfirmed
yeah, that's what I said.
information.
Unconfirmed.
Allegedly, bro. Like not even.
Allegedly.
I
Just
don't
a
even know.
rumor. Just a
It's
rumor.
just a
Oh,
rumor,
it's
man.
It's just a rumor.
Nah, it wasn't
Uh,
even him. It wasn't even him.
Let's move past this. We'll just censor it. We'll censor it. That's fucking funny. But yeah, dude, no, I know. I heard it was him as well. I remember that.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's
But-
fully censored. Fully censored his name.
Fully
I got a
Fuck.
clip of it. Can we throw this up? Okay, yo,
But
Jamie,
like,
pull that
wait,
up real
wait,
quick.
but we know who it is. So if he
We
doesn't
know
think
who
to
it
dog
is.
us, we're gonna fucking dog him.
Dude,
Jay, you're getting so aggressive on
Matt,
the 2 puffs, mate. You're fucking.
I'm sorry. I'm
Mad,
sorry.
he's
He's fucking cheeky ass.
I'm
Mad.
not aggressive anymore.
Can we just appreciate how all we're seeing on the Discord call is like the top half of Jay's face as well?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's
Matt,
incredible.
you said you were in an RV with everyone. Was that when
Mhm.
you were still having visa issues getting in, and you met up with? What didn't you meet up with like Ryan and Rish and Sam and
Yeah.
most of our
That
team?
was still when I was getting visa issues. That was back like late November, I think. It was about 2 or 3 weeks that we were. Actually, no, it was about a month.
It was
Fuck me,
it was over a month. You guys were gone. I remember. That
Yeah,
was
Ryan
last
was like,
November.
he fucking is like, yeah, we'll be in LA for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, yeah, no biggie, I'll come over there. And then we stay in an Airbnb, and then next thing you know, a fucking RV pulls up. I'm like, Ryan, there's no way we're getting in that thing, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, where the fuck are we driving to? He's like, you'll see. And we drove all the way to like, oh, I got where it was like
It was in
Texas and
Seattle,
shit like
wasn't
that.
it?
It was all over the place. Went to fucking Texas.
went all the
went
way
to
up the
LA.
coast.
How many
Fucking
days were you on the
to
road for?
Washington.
Holy
Washington.
shit! How many
Like-
people could fit in it?
Straight week. I think we had like 10 with us. if I remember
Wait,
correctly.
while it was
Fuck.
driving,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
we were obviously we were
shit,
buckled
cunt.
in and everything. Don't worry.
Just
How did-
10
how-
cunts
how
in a
did you guys
fucking
sleep? Do you
vehicle.
sleep in chairs?
What the fuck?
No, we slept in shifts. I mean, like you can take like the table out in these RVs and like lay it down and turn like the whole table thing into like a bed.
Shit.
Another bench will like pull out into a bed, and then there's like the bed in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like driving shifts. We were driving like straight through the night too.
Can we please tell the story about it? Because we all know a story about this trip, you know, about how
Oh.
you were responsible for driving one night and you took the
Please.
entire crew in the RV
Please, please, please.
on a
just-
journey. Can we talk about this?
Oh fuck
please.
me.
It's so funny.
Okay.
This is Matt's like biggest fuck up. Like this is Matt's like biggest.
Oh yeah, probably
This
easily.
is his controversy. This is his
This
controversy.
oh boy.
Cancel
Okay, so
Matt.
what happened was this was when we were in, I think this was when we were driving through like Northern California, which is weird because when you're in LA and you think of California, it's like nice warm beaches and shit.
Yeah.
But we get up in like Northern California, it like changes real quick. It's like snowy and shit like that.
Yeah, NoCal. Mountains.
Yeah, that's what we were driving through. We're driving through the mountains and
In an RV.
yeah, which apparently you're not supposed to do in winter. Who would have thought? But yeah, they're like doing checkpoints at the road. They're like, no, you need like chains on your tires, otherwise they'll like send you back and shit. So we had to take this long ass detour around the mountains to get to where we were going. And then on the way down, we stayed some days in, where was that? Portland, I think. What is that up there? I don't know. I
Portland,
remember
Oregon.
was it Portland?
I
I don't
don't
even
know.
remember,
Doesn't
and I
really
was
matter
there.
that much.
Anyways, the weed there was very good. The farmers there, like they're
Right.
farmers and they grow their own weed, so they grow it very well.
Yo,
It was a
shout out to
couple or some
farmers.
shit. Yeah, the fucking
Shout out
farmers
to
grow
farmers,
bro.
plants.
Shout out to farmers, bro.
That shit was better than LA weed. I'd say that. It was
They
crazy.
provide
It was so
all
like
the-
Farmers know
mind-boggling.
what they're doing, bro. They got
Yeah,
crop
who would have thought?
rotation.
Farmers, bro.
Dude,
my
imagine
eyes
the,
are like halfway closed.
the world without farmers. Holy fuck! Like not a
We'd
world
all
I
be
want to live
dead.
in.
We wouldn't have even evolved.
Yeah, we'd all be hunter-gatherers going.
Straight pimp chimping.
We'd run out of animals a long
yeah,
time
we
ago.
pimp chimping.
Surely do the pimp chimping.
Shout out to
Yo,
farmers.
we
Surely.
pimp chimping.
Surely Pimp Chimpin just rests in peace from now on, because Pimp Chimpin.
Fuck
I'm
you.
telling
Yeah,
It's here to
gotta
stay.
go.
agreed,
It's here to stay,
agreed.
kid.
Am I right,
Nah.
Mason? Fuck
Yeah,
Pimp Chimpin.
I think
Now
he's
we can
right.
fix
I
again.
think you should go.
It's the horse is being beaten to death twice.
Have you even tried it? Have you
The
even
chimp
tried
has
it?
been beaten
Tried
to
what?
death.
Have I tried
You
what?
talk like you haven't even chimped your
Yo,
pimp
we're
before.
pimp chimping.
You want me
Try
to say?
it, bro.
You want me to try and say that?
man.
Yes, dude.
I don't know if I can, bro.
Don't
It's gonna
do it.
compromise my integrity.
All right. Well
Don't
then
do
let's
it.
get off of this subject.
Oh
Matt, what were you
fuck yeah, we're
saying?
way off
Pimp
track.
chimping.
Speaking of which, blah blah blah. Sorry.
Wait, now I kind of
should
want to
hit
do
this
it.
shit
I
again.
don't know. Now I kind of want to do it.
I kind of wanted to do it
All
as
right.
well.
Matt,
real quick,
just
though.
hold that thought. All right, go for it.
So what's my line?
Yo, we pimp chimping.
Yo, we Pimp Chimpin. Like
That
that.
was cringe. No, that was cringe.
That was pretty
No,
cringe.
you didn't
That's
do it
cringe.
right.
Kick him.
Yeah,
You
that's
didn't
I
do
think
it
it's
right.
more like should be more like me monkey.
Me monkey is the new Pimp Chimpin.
Me monkey.
Nah, that was so good.
Who stole me monkey?
Oh, what is
Right,
this,
what-
Matt?
okay,
Matt,
back
As
you
we
were
were
saying-
saying, Matt. As we
Oh
were
yeah, we're
saying,
getting
though.
off track.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah.
speaking
So
of
Matt fucked up.
Matt,
Drove you to the
surely-
middle of
Surely you
nowhere.
do a bit of we pimp chimping before you start.
Oh my god.
no,
Nah,
Okay.
carry
Nah,
on.
uh,
You have to now. You
Anyways,
just have
we're
to.
way off
It's a
track. now.
dead
Like,
meme,
what, man?
cunt.
You just
It's
have
a
to.
dead
But it's
meme.
dead, though. It's so good.
It's not a dead
Except that
meme.
it's a dead meme.
It's a
cunt.
dead meme, bro.
All right,
Fucking-
all right. Matt was in the mountains.
Matt was in the mountain.
Oh
hills.
yeah.
Some good
So we're driving back from our Portland adventure or whatever, driving back through Northern California. Pull over on the side of the road. I don't remember whose turn it was driving at the time, whoever's shift it was. But everyone was just like fucked at that point. It was like 3 a.m. No one wanted to drive. And then we were like, fine, we'll just sit on the side of the road like till daylight or something, till someone wants to drive. And I was just like, fuck, I just don't want to be here right now. I've been like fucking bounced around the world for the last like how many months before that. I don't like being in an RV is like the last place I want to be right now. So it's like, fuck, fine, I'll drive. I just want to get us there. So I fucking hop in the driver's seat at 3 a.m. and I'm just like, fuck, Ryan, where are we going? He's just laying in the back. He's got the whole bed to himself. He's got a fucking, I think he had a weighted blanket too. He had his switch. He's
Holy
all cozy.
shit, cozy.
He's just
ass.
laying back there.
autism.
He's like, fucking like, whatever city we were going to, like San Francisco, LA, I don't remember. I was like, okay, I punched that in. completely forgetting that we took a detour on like the GPS to go around through the mountains. So I just typed in the city and hit go and just started following that road. And did that for a while, I think for about like 3 or 4 hours. And it was like 5 hours. No, it was like 5 hours. Yeah, I was like, fuck, everyone's sleeping in the back, but at least I'm gonna get us there for the boys, you know? I'm thinking like, yeah, everyone's gonna love me. I'm gonna fucking get us closer or some shit. And it's like, stopped after a few hours on the side of the road for Starbucks. I was like, okay, fuck, fine, I get some Starbucks. I wanted some like, before I even drove to get there. I was like, fine, fuck it. It's been 5 hours. Pull over to get some. One of the guys wakes up in the back, looks at the GPS. Yeah. We got an RV. I can't go through the drive-through, bro. You gotta like pull into a parking lot.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
But we pull over in the parking lot.
Sorry, Jay is so
What?
fucking stoned, kind of, off those two
Just
bars.
fucking-
He's just
I still only see just his nose and up.
proceed with the story.
I can see his,
Leave me
yeah.
alone.
But yeah, we stop at the Starbucks, and someone else wakes up and they like look at their phone and they're like, Ryan, Matt took us like 3 hours off route. And I'm like, what?
I
Is he
heard it was
joking or
5
something?
hours.
Right.
It wasn't 5 hours.
It was
3 hours
3
off
hours
route, but by the
off
time
route,
we
but
got
then it's
back-
3 hours back. So
So
a
Yeah.
total of
6
6
in total.
hours.
Yeah.
Go on,
I
go
thought
on.
it was being a good thing. Like everyone in the back was sleeping. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking put in some hours at least to get us closer. And I completely forgot we went all the way around the mountains. So we had to go all the way back and then all the way around the mountains
Oh.
again.
Fuck.
So yeah, so I took like a 6-hour
that.
detour just to get Starbucks.
In
glad
pursuit
I
of
wasn't
Starbucks,
there.
you took the game
Yeah.
6 hours out of the way.
6
Fuck.
hours for a little bit of Starbucks. What the
Dude.
fuck?
Was it worth
Was
it?
it even good? Yeah.
No, I had like 2 sips in one side to use the bathroom and they fucking dumped it out, bro.
Matt, man.
It was
what?
hearing your version of the story is very interesting because I was given a completely different chain of events from how Ryan perceived it.
Well, that's also Ryan. You got to remember that.
It is true, but his story
What
was
what was the
it's
difference?
probably it has to be somewhere in the middle.
Do the
It
spot
always
the
is.
difference with the story.
I want to get them in the same room so Ryan can be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And Matt can be like, no, fuck you, guys.
Or like a debate.
Yeah, we'll have him on or something.
Nah, what was his version? What did he say?
Well, Ryan's version, I could be completely paraphrasing here because he told me it so long ago. But I think the gist was that they wanted you to do the shift, but you said it was on the condition that you got Starbucks on the way. And they said, well, Matt, you have to follow a very specific GPS route. I'll put it on my phone, and Ryan gave you the GPS to go.
That is
and-
not at all what happens. No, that is not at all what happens.
Mhm.
I volunteered for
I'm
the
not here to
shift.
argue. Hey, man.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
that's
here to
not at
argue
all what
with
happened.
you.
I volunteered,
look.
and the only one that responded to me was Ryan in the back, where he had a blanket over his head. I'm like,
Matt,
Ryan, where are we
Matt,
going? Where am I
Matt,
putting the
just-
GPS? He
Just save it, mate.
the
Just save
city.
it. Look, we'll wait for
It's
Ryan's
all right.
statement on Twitter, and we'll proceed from there, okay?
I wanna
And,
tweet
then-
longer.
and he said he said that you took them 3 hours off course to go to Starbucks specifically, and that it was for a small latte. And,
It was
and
a
that's
large
why he
iced
was-
coffee. It was not a
what was-
small
well,
latte.
It was a large latte, right?
Large iced coffee. See, the
A
man's
large
lying. He
iced
doesn't know what he's
coffee.
talking
So
about.
he was wrong twice.
No
All right, well, that's
way.
all I need. But no, it's just funny to hear the the comparison of the
That's-
two.
I
events.
had a feeling Ryan is gonna like hype it up or some shit like that.
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
dude, of course. Well, I can't blame him for
It's-
being pissed off.
It's still
You
a
know,
funny
that's 6 hours.
6 hours, man. That's so many. Like that. Think about how.
Bro,
long
I thought I was
that is.
being
That's a
I thought I was
school
doing a
day,
good
bro.
thing,
That's
too.
a
I was
whole
like-
day at
I was
school.
like tacking on the
That's
hours
a-
and shit for the
that's a
boys. I was
school
like, yeah, I'm gonna
day.
get us this much closer.
That's like when Matt goes to drive. You're like, all right, I'm gonna have a sleep. Then waking up and you're in the same spot. Like, what the fuck? Like, fuck that.
Have we not left yet? No, it's been 2 days. What do you mean?
No.
What's
that's
the
fucked.
what's the longest road trip you boys have been on? Like
That one.
The
The Sydney.
Queensland
That
one
one.
for me.
Queensland?
me
we
was the-
where we went to Sydney from Melbourne.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
longest one I've been on.
Really? What, it took what,
Yeah.
9 hours?
Yeah.
Sydney to Melbourne was 9 hours. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess that's a pretty big trip. Yeah, that was so
Been
fun.
alright.
Though. Oh my god, the
It was
Sydney,
fun.
or the Melbourne to Sydney trip and vice versa, and that RV. Those were good times.
RVs are always a good
Mm.
time with the boys.
I
Except for
reckon-
when you're trying to sleep on the bed in the back and you hit a bump and then you hit your head
His
on the
gun
ceiling.
was flying on the fucking
Ah,
bed. I
flying,
remember
dude.
seeing
They would
it.
go over a bump and I would yell at Cam. I'd be like, dude, dude, slow down, or
Well,
try
he's
to avoid the bumps.
smashing onto
And
the
then,
roof.
yeah, dude, and Fitz would be like, oh, shut up, you're like being a pussy, like it's really not that bad. And then as soon as we're in the back together, and Ryan starts flooring it down the street, and we're going over the bumps. We have footage of us hitting our heads. I think isn't it on
It
Patreon?
didn't make it in the video, bro.
No,
Like,
it's
Isn't it
Patreon,
on,
I think.
it's on Patreon though, isn't it?
yeah, I
Link in
remember
description.
Swags hit the
Yeah.
ceiling at one point. I fucking
Dude,
lost my
we
shit,
literally
cunt.
both hit the fucking ceiling. Both of our heads.
Dangerous times. I reckon another
Dangerous
RD
times.
trip is surely due soon because we can't internationally travel with Corona. It's looking like we can't travel internationally.
Camping
until
trip?
January.
Camping trip?
So
Yeah,
You can't
until
even
January.
travel anywhere right
Crazy.
now. Like they have roadblocks. on the
Now,
street.
obviously, we're not going to be traveling on a road trip
Yeah.
to anywhere anytime soon until, because all the borders are shut and social distancing and quarantine and isolation. It's
Yeah.
fucked.
In Australia, though, they're hoping that they can lessen the restrictions in the next 4 weeks. But
Well, that's
it'll
decent.
depend. It'll depend. It's actually.
I feel like it's next 4 weeks, every 4 weeks now.
It's a very different situation in America. It seems to
Huge.
here in Australia. Australia's got declining numbers right now, and I'm pretty sure that like
Well, so does America.
Yeah.
They're also declining. But it's still
Right.
a
I
lot.
feel like they're worried now is like if they start to lift restrictions, there's gonna be that second wave because everyone's
yeah.
like going out in public again.
yeah,
Bruh.
bro, it's crazy. I can't believe this is so like it's very ironic because I think the podcast that we dropped who was it with? It was I forget.
Schlatt.
With Schlatt,
Schlatt.
maybe. Yeah, and I was like downplaying it so hard because you're still in LA and it was still kind of like in the very early days of the virus, and I was like, yeah, nah, I reckon it'll blow over and stuff. And I think the day we actually dropped the episode was one of the worst days for it as well. So people were like,
Yeah.
"Yep, that was a fucking bad prediction." It's just I can't believe
that's crazy.
like I don't know. It's just very crazy that something can shock the world on this level, and it's just out of our control. I mean,
It's
I
been a
guess
good wake up call.
for sure, definitely.
It's
a
kind
good-
of
Yeah,
weird though, like
I-
watching the
Like
news about it.
everything just needs to be like cleansed.
Oh, what the fuck? He solved it. Yeah.
mate. You have just fucking fixed it, cunt.
This man a
Holy
Nobel Prize.
Shit, what the fuck? You should be the
Nobel Peace
president.
Bro, people
That was
just
basically a
fucking
Donald Trump tweet. I
absolutely
mean, let's be honest.
cleanse.
Needs to be cleansed.
Needs to be cleansed.
Head to toe between toenails, fucking cleanse them.
It's the toenails.
Yeah,
That's the
dude.
problem. No, I reckon we just don't eat any more bats, eh? Like,
No,
just-
dude.
Bro,
it-
bat soup. What the fuck?
Bats.
Is that even accurate? Is the bat soup thing?
No, no.
Probably.
Do you hear people are now like officially linking it to a laboratory that in Wuhan?
Oh yeah, I heard
It
about
was
that.
people.
yeah.
It was
What?
people that were studying viruses to try to apparently compete with the U.S. That's the headline that I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. That sounds like some
what?
propaganda.
It does sound like some propaganda, but I don't doubt that it
But I
probably
believe it.
leaked from. It does. I don't doubt it leaked from a lab. It was obviously
Bro.
on accident, but like, fuck.
There is
Patient
so
zero.
much fucked up shit going on that we just don't even know about. You know,
Yeah,
you could,
I
like
know.
Yeah, dude.
right at this moment, just imagine all of the fucked up shit that's going on,
Somewhere in Africa, there's a chimp in a tribe of chimps
and he's not
that
pimp
is
chimping.
that is ripping apart another animal and then eating them,
Fuck, yeah.
like
Wait,
ripping
what-
them apart.
Wait, that's so specific. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what
I
kind
saw
of
I saw I saw a documentary the other day and it reminded me of it.
David Attenborough shit for this.
I thought that would be a horrible thing that would happen daily that,
You should
that
just-
no one would think about.
You should just do that at like a dinner party, just out of nowhere. It's like they're having a conversation, and you just go, "At this very moment in Africa." It's like,
Donate to the chimps today.
Yeah, we pimp chimping.
Oh, that's fucked.
Oh no.
like
No,
when as
dude.
you started saying that, I swear you went black and white, and like commercial music started playing for a charity.
Yeah.
Did you know that every 30 seconds an animal gets ripped apart by a chimp in Africa?
No, I
Donate to our cause.
Why do they do that though? To eat it or
pimpschimps.com.
like?
Yeah, what's
yeah,
the story?
of course, to eat it.
Wait, but
They're,
why are they in a zoo? What's the case?
No, they're wild. It
they're
was
in
it was
Africa.
it was a Vice documentary. It was like tribe of warrior chimps, I believe it was, or like the
Holy
rise of the
fuck.
warrior apes.
Fuck, that's
Rise
it's
of
like
the
a-
Planet of the Apes.
It's like the Ngogo tribe of apes or something, or like clan or whatever the fuck they call it. It's like a group, a population of like 250 chimps that just like
like a
full
little
on
city.
have wars with other chimps
What?
and expand into territory and take it over. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Oh, did you hear
like-
chimps are technically at like the tool age or like the
Oh, yeah,
stone
they've
age
been-
now
they've been in
because
the
they're like
Stone Age
using
for about
tools
a
and shit?
decade.
Like you can
Imagine-
see them evolving. Yeah, yeah.
Imagine if, like, back in the early days, like a few hundred years ago, we just decided that this one particular island was just like the chimps will just let them do their thing. We'll see how far they get.
Chimp Island.
Like Chimp
Holy
Island.
fuck, that'd be
And you
sick.
just
Like
say,
Age
look,
of Empires.
You just give like a
Wait.
little country.
Ew, Joey.
And you just everyone agrees like, look, cunts, just don't fuck with this island because like it's so curious what's gonna happen on this island. Like, what's gonna happen? And then by the time we reach our age, they're like an actual like civilization to some extent, or maybe they've reached.
They'll take over.
I got a piss.
Go for it.
Alright, fuck,
Go fast, bro.
It's like that thing, the North Sentinelese Island. It's an island with this tribe. It's like a very old tribe. They've been segregated from the rest of humanity forever.
Oh yeah, I've seen
apparently
that.
they don't know how to make fire. Like when lightning strikes, they keep the ember and then continually burn it. Like they
big is
they
this
have
island? Is it
loincloths
just like
and bows and arrows. People would shipwreck on that island. It's south of India somewhere. And they would shipwreck on the island, and the tribes people would just fucking murder them. They had helicopters fly over, and then people would, they'd shoot at the fucking helicopters with bows and arrows.
Yeah. They at least got to the bow and arrow upgrades.
And apparently,
though, right?
it comes from this history on the island where white colonial settlers, probably from fucking England, came over and were like, "Ooh, brown person. Oh, cool. He's new. He looks weird. I'm gonna take you to the queen." And then they were like, "No, please don't kidnap me." And they were like, "Nah, dude, you'll be great. You'll survive the fucking 5-month journey." And then they bring him in, and then like the 1 out of the 7 survives, and they're fucking horrified because all their friends just died on the ship and they were kidnapped. And they bring him to the queen, and then the queen's like, "Oh yes, it is another savage on an island. Cool, thank you. Here's money." And then they drop him back off, and then the guy apparently, everyone on that fucking island now just hates outsiders. They think they're evil.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they murder anybody that comes near.
I like how you frame that as though like, hey, why the fuck do they hate people? Like it's like so unreasonable. Like so now apparently they hate people.
Like I don't know what that's about.
Does Microsoft just explain racism?
No, it's just the thing is that they absolutely have a distrust because disease and whatever, and the Indian Army or the Coast Guard or whatever protects them from outside influence. There was a fucking idiot that went over there with a Bible to try to spread the word of Jesus. Oh, it's like in 1800s mindset. He went there to be like, "Oh yeah, these North Sentinelese. You know what they need? You know what they need? They need Jesus." And then he just came over there with a Bible, and they just fucking shot him with arrows and murdered him.
Do they eat him? Do you reckon they eat guns?
I
don't
There's no way they're not
eat.
eating guns.
Like that's a waste of food.
Yeah,
I guess.
That's good white meat,
How does
I wonder?
How does the whole like? I'm not saying I'm like trying to get into cannibalism, but
Wait, what if I come back to cannibalism?
Well, so I get told this whole story about
the North Sentinelese Island, the North Sentinelese tribe.
Which you'll have to listen to the podcast to hear because we're not going to fucking repeat ourselves. But basically, we're just debating whether they kill people, and we know they kill people. We're debating whether they eat them or not. And now I'm about to ask a question, which I just want an answer to without judgment. How bad is eating people?
Did you murder them with the intention of eating them, or did they die of natural cause, or did they give previous consent?
Either previous consent or they died of natural cause. Like, maybe my wife just falls down the stairs one day, and it's Kobe.
You've just come in.
Hey,
Kobe. Ask Kobe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you think it's okay to eat people?
No, ask him.
What did he say?
What did he say? What was the answer?
Mace.
What was the answer?
What was the answer?
He said yeah.
It's okay to eat people?
Yeah.
Approved by Mason's brother.
I don't know if that should be the case though.
We might want to look into it further. Look, I'm just saying, like, if someone dies of a natural cause or they give consent, like, how does it affect you mentally and like health-wise eating another person? And like, what's the morality of it?
Ask the people. There were people that got into I believe an airplane crash. It was a soccer team, if I recall correctly, and they were South American. Crashed in the mountains somewhere in South America. I could get this completely wrong, but essentially they were stuck in the mountains, snowed in, and there were people that died in the crash and people that died of starvation or lack of water or whatever. And they had no food and they had no way of getting food, and so they see people that are dead and then they go, I'm a little hungry, and then they eat them.
No way.
Obviously, even in most like situations where groups of people have to eat each other to survive, even like with the Donner Party, which was like an old pioneer settling group in America, they got stuck in mountains, got fucked up, and they had to resort to eating each other when they died. There was one remaining survivor. He was found shivering with a blanket, and he had a pot of blood that he was drinking.
Okay.
But it's real shit. But the entire thing between them, between like those two things is like when somebody dies, they make sure that people aren't eating relatives, that people aren't eating people that they know, and that the meat was like chopped and looked like less like a human, because you're not going to eat a leg.
Well,
or like
well, I
off
mean,
the
that's
hand.
just easy.
Don't be fussy. You know,
I guess it wouldn't. It really
A leg would
depends.
probably be the best part.
that's like asking your
No,
mom to
dude,
cut the
very
crust off the
fatty.
sandwich. That's just some pussy
Very
shit.
fatty.
Yeah.
I imagine like dressing human meat would be fucking horrible.
Why?
I wouldn't want to do that.
A human Caesar salad.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
my
why-
pa
what's so
used to
bad
tell
about that?
me.
Well, they
my
did
pa
do that
used to
that
tell
one time,
me
Jay.
The closer the bone, the sweeter the meat. And
Yeah.
so I'm guessing maybe fingers might be a go-to.
Fingers.
Nah,
But there's not enough meat on it.
I mean,
But like, it's good
but
for a
think,
snack.
think about chicken fingers. though.
human human fingers.
Chicken fingers,
Human
but
tendies.
fingers. It probably isn't that different. You know, you know, I would want to get boneless. I think. Like I don't know if I could do the bone.
Not like
Probably
eat
not.
around the bone. Like,
Yeah, but like even so, it
This
just
is fart.
Yeah.
What the
but-
fuck?
Okay, all right,
This is
imagine,
so yuck.
imagine this scenario, everybody. I want your answers to this hypothetical.
Okay.
Say you recently got into a car accident. Your left arm was completely like severed, and you go to the hospital. Like they cauterize the wound, they make sure you're good,
Can
but
you
now you're an
deep fry it?
amputee. And they have your arm still, but they were just gonna cremate it or throw it away or whatever. What if you said, "No, that's my arm. That's my property. Give that to me now," and then you bring it home with you and you fry it up?
Bro.
Your own arm.
Oh.
Is that a crime?
I'll
Is
try
that
and
a-
glue it back on or
Wait,
something.
so
Is
it's
that
your-
a
it's your
crime?
own arm.
What,
I mean,
what,
it's your
what
property,
legally
right?
or morally
Yeah.
is stopping you from eating your arm given that situation?
I don't think
But
that's
why
a crime.
would you?
Is that? Do you think that's actually?
Why
a
would
crime?
you?
Sure
I don't
it's
know.
not.
I'm
That's
curious.
it's
When I'm
like
gonna let my
burning your
arm go
hand
to
on the
waste,
stove.
what do I taste like?
Yeah.
Who thinks that after having their arm cut off though?
Resourceful people. Jay.
Yes,
Resourceful
dude.
Oh, what the
Dude, now that's
fuck?
like wasted gains, bro. All that protein shakes you had, you can't have that go to waste.
But
Gotta
but
eat that shit.
imagine being able to know what you would taste like if you were cooked.
What if you figure out you
I'm
taste
so,
really
I'm,
good?
I'm
after you
cooked. I'm
cook it?
cooked as fuck.
What happens if you discover it's like the best tasting meat in the world, but you can't have it because it's you again? So you're like in the dilemma of like, fuck, I'm really hungry. I could go for some fingers again. You want to like? cut off
Oh,
your
that's right.
fingers,
What if it's
fry
the
it?
best thing you've ever tasted, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh
Oh.
shit.
You get hooked on it. You can't resist.
Oh
hooked on it.
fuck!
What if it's
the
a
plot
Start eating your
twist!
one finger. Next thing you know,
It's just,
everyone's
oh,
looking at
dude, you
you
get a
no fingers and
craving
shit.
for human?
Oh.
Because
A little
that's
midnight
how
snack.
cannibals start. You know, they start by tasting that little
Fuck.
That's
little
a
finger,
book right there. That's like
Yeah,
a horror
they
story.
bite their finger skin.
and then they start eating the other kids at school and shit. You know, one by one, little Molly disappears. No one knows where she went. Fucking Frank the entire time was becoming quite the cannibal.
Frank. Why?
Hell of a
Wait, why
story.
Frank?
I don't know. I'm just
Is that why
coming up
hot
with names
dogs
on
are
the
called
spot.
Franks?
No, but for real, like let's talk mad cow disease because that's right a side effect of eating people, right? Like how
Is
how
it?
real is that?
Really?
Yeah, isn't
Mad
eating your
cow
own
disease?
species like actually doesn't it mentally or physically affect you?
Is that why do
yes.
cows eat each other?
Well, I think that's how they
Is that why
discovered
it's
it because they would try and feed cows, really fucked
Ew,
up.
oh, fuck!
And then like they
that's
started fucking with them in some way. I don't actually know if this is real.
I believe I did like research on this a little bit. I think mad cow disease is a prion, which is like this disease that is affected from eating like gray matter of same species. I don't know.
Yeah.
But with the Maori people, Maui, whatever,
The
Maori.
people, yeah.
Maori.
people from New Zealand.
Maori people,
With a
Kia
Maori-
kaha, kia kaha.
Kikaha. They would
Pena.
Did you just
apparently
try and
appar-
say it? So Sven was like,
Kaha.
yes, kia kaha.
they would go ahead and like there were tribes that would like kill each other and then eat their brain because they believed that they
Bro,
would absorb their power for battle.
I don't know if this is
fuck.
accurate New Zealand history, but go on.
It could be some other tribe somewhere else. I think maybe New Guinea. It might have been New Guinea.
Might have been,
Papua
mate,
New
might have
Is
been.
the brain
Doesn't
edible?
sound like the homeboys.
What do you
But
mean?
they
Yes.
apparently crack open skulls and eat the meat, and they go, yummy. I am now have their power, please. And then they die of a brain prion. It's like in DayZ. If you eat human meat, you get a prion, and then
What's
it makes you laugh and go
what's a prion
crazy.
mean?
It's a certain kind of
prenup.
disease. Prion.
It's like a mental disease.
A
Or
type
like a
of
brain
protein.
disease.
Yeah, it's a type of protein that can trigger normal proteins in the brain to fold abnormally. Prion diseases affect both humans and animals.
Right. So
What the
so you definitely get that shit from eating your own kind. You get like,
Yes.
fucked up. So yeah, that's why cannibals go like actually fucking insane and shit.
But you have to be insane beforehand to be a cannibal. So like you get
or desperate, or just hungry.
We're just desperate.
hungry.
Yeah.
Not all cannibals
Or
are
just
bad. I
curious.
can't blame a guy for eating another guy
Okay,
if the
do
guy
you- do you
dies
know
of
a
natural
cannibal?
causes.
Jake,
I
it's
bet you don't
2020.
even know a cannibal in real life.
No, I hope not.
Because if you do, then that'd probably be fucked as.
I feel like we're all cannibals deep inside.
What?
We're all cannibals deep inside. It's just when the situation
laughing.
happens,
Yeah.
it'll do it.
You'd
You'll
be very
become a cannibal
surprised
eventually.
Nah,
what you're
man.
capable of. Yeah,
Everyone's got that capacity.
exactly.
Only you.
Imagine the kind
Yes,
of shit.
you would, Mason.
No, I
yes,
You
wouldn't.
you
Mason
totally would. You were gonna eat
Mason would-
Toby's
Mason
leg.
would
You're
want
gonna eat
to.
No,
Toby's
I
leg.
would-
when
I
you-
Mason, you would
really
convince
would-
yourself so quick. You would be turned. You would be like,
Nah,
imagine you're locked in a
dude,
room with no
I'd be
food
like,
with
fuck
someone.
this. I'm gonna starve, cunt.
Nah, 100%.
Oh,
Mason would be
I
like,
don't
he's
think
kind of
so.
tasty.
When you
Nah.
experience like actual starvation,
Ugh.
you just be like, "Fuck that! I'm eating that shit."
Yeah, like, do you guys think that you've ever actually been like hungry enough to be like, I'm starving? Do you guys ever think you've actually?
No,
been
no,
that
no,
bad?
no.
Starving.
Yeah.
Like you'll
ramen,
joke like,
never.
"Oh, I'm fucking starving." But I
Right?
don't think like any of us have been
Nah.
like actual starvation.
Yeah, like how crazy is it that never in our life, and probably we never will ever experience like going multiple days without food.
I did a
involuntarily.
10-day water fast once.
Really?
How was
What?
that?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
fuck
did-
off. Are you not supposed
10
to?
days.
I thought that would kill you.
10
No,
days
you can
without
do
You don't
water.
drink water.
No,
Wouldn't
no,
kill you.
only water.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he didn't abstain from water, guys.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Is that what I said? Is that
no,
what I
you
said?
said
water
no. A
fast.
water.
Yeah.
10-day water fast as in I can only have water.
Bro,
Oh,
that's
okay.
like some easy shit though. That's like
Oh, okay, buddy, mister. I haven't been 3
All right,
days.
odds on. Odds on.
He's so fucking full of it.
Bro, I mostly just drink water. All I have to do is quick coffee. And then I
You
pretty much
had a
have to-
fucking-
Dude, 10
Yeah,
days would be
stir
hard,
fry.
cunt. That'd be
What?
fucking hard.
Yeah, you
Nah,
love
I
your
couldn't.
cooking.
I couldn't do 10-day water fast. No way.
Are you serious? It's just. Oh wait, you mean no food?
No,
No
food,
food.
just
Oh, I
water.
thought you meant the
Just
only
water.
liquid you consumed is water. Oh
No.
No.
Look, this
Dude.
guy starts
Just
drinking his
water.
green drinks, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you just meant water." This
I'm a
fucking
healthy
guy.
guy. No, wait. So you went 10 days.
10
with
days
nothing
without
but water.
food.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking
No
god.
food.
Well, that's
Oh.
crazy.
I have, I had some fucking issues, man.
What
Jesus,
happened?
What was that like doing that fast? Like,
I went insane, and as soon as I broke it, I had like Pringles and shit, and it was just a waste of time.
really? Oh, so you just went
Yeah.
back into like indulgent again.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
When was this?
A year or two ago.
Did
Back
you
when I
last
was
the full
in
10
New
days?
Zealand. Yeah,
Oh, damn.
and literally the only thing on my mind was like watching fucking Gordon Ramsay shit. Like that's
That's all I
did
did.
all day.
Wait,
when I did keto,
My kitchen
that's all I
nightmares was
did.
so pog.
so you didn't?
I can't believe that. No food for like over
No
a week.
You,
What the
you
fuck?
made the 10 days. You actually
I
made.
made the 10
Dude,
days. Yeah.
Good for you, bro. That's like serious discipline to do that. I don't know if I'd be able to
Yeah.
do that.
It's
now.
fucking. It was hard as fuck,
Damn, bro. Congrats.
but it
That's
was also it wasn't good. Don't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Apparently, it's sometimes
gave
healthy
up
to
the
go
first
for like a
day.
quick fast of like 48
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Apparently, that's
Yeah.
something that
Hmm.
maybe even be recommended. But
Did
there
you
go.
not shit for like 4 days?
I don't
No,
know.
I'd
No,
shit,
you-
but it would be like not good
Prob-
shit.
probably not
Water?
Good shit. Yeah, probably putting
Yeah.
water if you were gonna.
Oh, dude.
Comes out like silly
Oh.
string.
Thank God, dude. The quarantine did anything. It got me a bidet. The bidets are fucking. I'm
Wait,
never
really?
going
Did
back.
you actually get a bidet?
Dude,
actually got a
bidets are
bidet.
so
I've
good.
used
Get a
it.
bidet.
Dude,
a
they're
bidet
so
toilet
nice.
seat is
Fuck this
fucking
toilet
amazing,
paper
bro.
scalpers, bro.
That's
Dude,
so
Matt
sick.
has it too. Man has it too. He's got a bidet. It's better
Wait,
than mine.
how
Dude,
do
I
you
went to
get a
Japan. I
bidet?
had to get one, bro.
It's
How
a,
do
it's
you
a,
get a bidet?
It's a toilet seat. You order it on
buy it.
Amazon. You install it you install it yourself. I had to change the water connection from the supply and hook up a
Oh
valve. and
fuck,
it-
that's
dude,
way too complicated.
took me 30 minutes. It comes with instructions. It's easy.
I swear, I guess such an American dad, dude. He can do anything. He'll fix your fucking house.
I'll fix the fucking. I'll fix the fucking washing machine. Leaky pipe. Dude,
My
Flex
dryer's
Seal.
not working. You want to come over here?
No,
Just crickets.
dude, sorry. Quarantine, my man.
I'm too high, bro. I
Yeah.
don't understand what just happened. Anyway, you're saying about your bidet.
Fucking washing.
What was that?
You're saying about your bidet, mate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
How good is
bonkers.
it? Wait, would you rate it? What would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, a 10, dude. It's a clean. One wipe, bro. One
I
wipe.
don't know, bro.
One
I used it. Maybe I didn't use it properly, but
You
it
need
just
a
didn't quite get me.
You need to scoot up in the.
Yeah,
in the,
I scooped up, bro. But I'm like, I don't know.
You have to make sure it hits you like right on around the ass. Not like on. You don't want to go in.
Do you spray it in your ass and spray it a bit in your mouth?
No.
Like a drinking fountain at school.
You just fucking
I mean,
start sipping.
how clean is that water though? Like, it's probably fine, right?
It's probably
They have
not
filters on
fine.
them.
It's probably
Mine
not
has like a little filter the
I mean-
line goes through, so it like filters the water for that shit.
It does. It does
It's
have a bit of
clean.
a thing, but yeah, the quarantine is fucking insane. We
Yeah.
had a fucking really weird ass experience when we went over to Ryan's like the
yeah.
other week, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like people are like going crazy
yeah, what
like
was this
physically, but this guy, like, people are going fucking crazy mentally because they're in their house and they're reading the news and they're just getting all fucked up about it.
It's all the
Yeah.
normies.
You want to explain this, Fitz?
Yeah, well, we're at Ryan's house. Okay, so for those of you who want to know like what our kind of situation is with lockdown, we are taking isolation very seriously. But the thing is that we were all in America together right when this was kind of getting bad. In fact, we only just got back into the country in time for us not to be like under complete lockdown.
We still did it anyways.
We still did it anyways. We isolated for a bit, but because like we were all together, like as a unit traveling back from America, Ryan, our manager, has a house where a lot of the team stays at, and I live alone about 5 minutes away from Ryan, and Swagger lives pretty close as well. We both live alone, so we kind of figured it's safe. Like we need to go to work, we need to do the podcast and things like that. So it's technically okay for us to go to Ryan's house, considering that we were already sort of incubated together.
Yeah,
We all kind of
and no,
agreed on
I mean,
thing.
and no one was sick, and those guys were isolating for a week and a half,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah. So,
So-
and it's legal too because it is for work purposes.
It was only 2 people, and the other
anyway.
9 like lived there.
Yeah. Anyway, we find ourselves at Ryan's house and we're sitting around like the little conference table he's got near the front. And I think what happens is like a guy walks past and he sees through the window that there were about 10 people in Ryan's house, and he starts yelling at.
We hear
house.
the doorbell. We hear the
Yeah.
fucking doorbell, and then it's just like, oh, someone's here. Uber Eats. Did anyone order Uber Eats? And then people are like, no, we didn't order anything. And then Manuel is Ryan's personal assistant, Chris's brother.
Yeah.
He walks outside, and he's like, hey, what's up? And this fucking weirdo, this weird dude, like 30 something, really odd guy, talked very weird. He was just saying like, he's on the phone. He's talking on the phone. And he goes like, you guys are social distancing, isolation, and he's just like saying all this shit, and then Manuel just goes, fuck off, like that.
Well,
and then
Manuel
walks
didn't,
back and
Manuel didn't know if he was serious or not. He just heard him
Yeah,
kind of being like,
but
"You're not social
yeah.
distancing," and he was like, "Fuck off, mate!" Like he was doing something
Yeah,
else
he's
with
like,
the
"Fuck
bins. And then the guy starts getting more aggressive, doesn't he? And he's like,
yeah, he's like, no, dude, seriously, like, you think you're fucking special? Like, you
Yeah.
fucking have 9 people over there, you're having a fucking party, and Manuel didn't know if it was a neighbor or what, so he goes over to Ryan and he goes, Ryan, I need you to, like, there's this fucking guy, is he a neighbor? Do you know him? And then Ryan comes outside and the guy is like talking to Ryan and he's like, oh, you think you're fucking special? Like, you think you're fucking special? You can do this shit? Like, fuck you. And he goes, he's like, I'm on the phone to the cops, and he keeps saying like Ryan's address, come here. He's talking to the police.
Yeah.
He's getting a police response to come down because there's
What the
9
fuck,
people in a
man?
house
So
minding their own business.
What a retard.
So Ryan sort of like, has a bit of a go at him, but then realizes like, oh well, we should probably just see what happens here, sort of
Not
thing. The
worth
guy's
Yeah,
sort of
just
like
wait for the
stumbling
cops.
away. He kind of seemed a little drunk.
He seemed drunk or on something.
The funny thing is that we were literally all in there just talking about work. We were talking about like an upcoming project, and like, so like we were all in there working, and he like comes along and thinks it's a fucking party. But anyway, turns out he did call the police. The whole time we were sort of like geeking about it inside because we were like, this is so crazy. What an insane NPC. Like, this is such a great little side quest.
Side quiz.
The guy is like still on the other side of the road, sort of walking around a little bit, like looking at us. The police show up maybe 15 minutes later, and like an older cop and a younger cop get out of the car, and the guy goes up to him and he's sort of like very nervous. He's like, yeah, like they're in there and they're not social distancing. There's like 10 people in there, you know, like they're not being safe. Like rambling on. And Ryan goes out and goes, "G'day guys, how you doing? Yeah, no,
He's got
sorry."
his fucking Rolex on. He gelled his hair.
he did himself up all nice. He goes,
Wearing a suit.
Yeah, he's like, "G'day guys, how you going? Yeah, no, I'm sorry about this that he's dragged you out here, but we actually are working in there. Like it's either on a podcast with a Misfits podcast." He's like, "If you look us up on Spotify, we'll be like the #1 result." Like he's flexing to these police officers.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And the younger guy whips out his
younger
phone.
cop.
Yeah, the younger cop whips out his phone, like looks up. He's like, "This is you guys?" And Ryan's like, "Yeah, that's us. Like, sorry about it, but yeah, we're kind of doing our work, and we work out of my home now." And the guy's like, "Yeah, no worries." The younger cop goes to the 30-year-old guy, this weird cunt, and just goes like, "That's their house. What the fuck are you doing?" and walks across the road with him, and like the guy's like, "Oh, they're social distance." And like at this point, the 30-year-old guy like knows he's fucked up. Like he knows that he's kind of made a fool of himself a little bit, so he's sort of just stammering off. And the older cop was like, "Look, guys, yeah, like sorry about it. Like, obviously just go inside and maybe shut your curtains so it doesn't happen again, sort of thing." And we were like, "Yeah, cheers, mate." Went back inside. And yeah, fucking pretty much end of story. Hey, it's funny. Our friend Lauren says that she has friends in the police, and that they get calls like this all the time now. Just these like worthless calls.
Crazy.
Like,
What
because
a-
people
what
are
a
reporting
waste.
on each other. It's just like such a waste of the police's time.
A complete waste of police resources. They could be doing a number of any other important things, but it's always some bullshit.
Yeah.
Some fucking Karen wants to be a hero.
Karen.
Yeah, just I don't know.
It's
Vigilantes.
retarded, dude. Like
Vigilantes.
stopping, just like use your brain or something.
I don't know. I've never seen anything and had an instinct. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call the police.
Like I saw someone getting murdered, and I was like, nah, I don't even like.
you know what? It's none of my
You're like,
business.
bro, my
Just keep
phone's only
walking.
20%, bro.
It's actually
Exactly.
a crime in America. If you witness a murder and you don't report it, you get sentenced. You go to
Really?
jail. Yeah,
Wait,
that was the season finale
What
of
if you-
Seinfeld.
What if you're blind and you just walk past and?
Oh, well, obviously, no. But
No
if you hear it, I
excuses.
guess, if someone goes, "I'm being murdered! I'm being murdered!" and then
You're
they
like,
die.
I'm
and
deaf as
you-
well. You just keep walking.
It's a Helen Keller.
Helen Keller classic.
Dude, Helen Keller can't be charged with that crime.
Surely if you ever get called in,
Looking on the bright side.
like to the police station because you're accused of something, you just close your eyes and just pretend you're blind and deaf. That works every time, right?
It just
Exactly. You can game the system. I don't know, man. Like this hysterical guy, they're not uncommon, especially in LA. Like in America, it seems there's a lot of people that are just either dumb or completely fucking crazy. Like either going over the top with trying to protect people from the virus or denying that it even exists in the first place. Have you seen those protests in America where people like gathering and they're like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
COVID's a lie, COVID's a lie. The funny
And
thing
then
is,
they're also wearing
COVID's-
face
yeah,
masks.
they're
too
still
at the
wearing fucking
protest.
masks, you know, like Jesus fucking Christ.
no, they just don't want to get the flu.
I don't know, bro. Like, it's people like that that are gonna just make this whole thing way worse for everyone. It's gonna be.
I mean, dude, it's just Darwin awards left and right.
I guess.
If they get it and can't be put on a
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. No matter who you are,
was a good thing in that people now wear condoms all the time when they have sex. And
This will
people
be
are
good
saying
because
that
people
this
will
is
now
gonna
wear
be good
hazmat
'cause-
suits.
Yeah, or you'll wash your hands at least. People will be washing their hands with soap and water for 20 seconds.
So invest
Like
in
if
soap.
that's invest in soap
Invest in soap and Zoom.
and Zoom, bro.
you
Dude,
invested in
that
Zoom
guy,
before this?
that guy was screaming. You guys don't need to be all there for things. Like, have you heard of Zoom?
Yeah.
Use Zoom, and we're like, mate, Discord's a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, have
like,
you heard
what's
of
the
Discord?
Fucking boomers, bro.
Dude,
Fucking
absolute
boomers.
boomer.
Shit is crazy, man. It's
Absolutely
what
wild.
a wild
It
time to
should-
live in. Makes you wonder, like, what else are we in for in this fucking lifetime, boys? Like, the
Nah,
world is
yeah,
gonna
I
be
this
know.
lifetime,
crazy.
it's not even like a quarter into 2020 yet, mate.
Dude, the world is
Dude.
gonna be crazy. We're so fucking young. Like, holy shit.
Dude, we're Australia. Shit's gonna like overheat here, bro. We're fucked.
We've
Nah,
actually. Oh fuck, we went through
Like the
the
first ones
Australia
to
thing as
go.
well already.
Yeah,
Why
we already
will
went
stay
through the
in
bushfire.
Antarctica?
See, every
No, it's just
time,
gonna melt
every
away.
time we come back, there's something different. I fucking land and there's smoke everywhere.
That was
and
so
it's
weird landing
fucking
here.
horrible.
Seeing the smoke.
And I come back
I wanna
again,
move to
and the fucking
Antarctica.
world is in lockdown.
What'd you
Yeah.
say, Mason?
I want to move to Antarctica.
Yeah? We can
Yeah. I
reckon
arrange
as
a
well.
little
Yeah,
trip.
but
It's
you
gonna be
could
like
invest in
really
real estate
lovely, I
there,
think,
though.
like when you're 30. It'll be beautiful. So maybe get a
Oh,
place there
yeah.
now and then just wait around till you're 30. Then
But what if
Won't it
like,
be all
breaks
melted
apart
over
and you're
there?
like-
yeah, it'd be melting.
Yeah,
but it'll be
it's gonna,
a
like,
gorgeous-
melt and break
gorgeous
off.
heat. Yeah.
You go to sleep in Antarctica, you wake up in Russia the next day. You know.
Wait,
Hey,
so
you
why do
did-
people care about the ice caps melting? Like, do we need ice?
The real question: what the fuck? Like, don't you guys have ice
What
in your
are
fridge?
ice caps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it easy to actually make ice?
If we just all turn our ice
Like,
makers
why
on
did it, like-
overnight.
Swagger,
throw it in
what's your
there.
take? You're a man of science. Would you care to answer Young Jay's question? Who needs ice? What do we need it for? Why do we care about the ice caps?
It's just like
oh, dude.
Like
You know,
flooding?
dude.
No, it's for the Ice
alcohol.
Age movies, bro. They film on location.
Wait,
Gotta keep that
you're
shit.
not serious, are you?
No, he's serious. Why do
I'm
we?
serious.
Who gives a fuck
Why do
about
we
the
need-
ice, bro? Like, what? Who cares?
What do we need
Dude.
it for?
Polar bears, bro.
Is that it?
Dude.
Do we really need those
What,
guys?
what do you mean, fuck polar bears, dude?
No,
They're so
like
cute.
we don't really
What about
need
penguins,
them.
bro? What about penguins? What about happy feet?
They live in zoos,
Wait, they're in the north.
man.
Well, no, they don't have to live
They're
in
not in
zoos.
They
North.
can
They're up
easily live
north.
in zoos
No, dude.
artificially, man.
Surely not.
Bro, just go to
we can-
SeaWorld. What are you on about?
Yeah,
cuz?
we can have artificial penguins, dude. We don't even need ice.
Dude.
I could just see penguins if you go in VR. You can see every animal you want. Who cares?
No, it's actually true.
Come on, bro.
But like, why do we actually need ice though? Like,
Just to the audience at home, like we are kidding, but yeah, why do we actually need ice caps? Swagger, like who fucking cares, right? You
like
know
I
what
love climate change and stuff. Like, I'm not gonna be like
Yeah.
someone who's gonna throw straws away and shit. But like,
That's
what-
just despicable right
yeah.
there.
Like, who
But,
cares
like,
about the
what's-
ice caps?
but what the fuck do
Oh,
we need
dude.
ice for? Like, do we actually know? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm serious. Like, what do we actually need?
I feel
You-
like
what,
Swagger
you
actually
need
might
ice?
believe that he's being serious.
You need ice to put in a beautiful glass
Okay.
of gamer subs.
That's right. Gamersubs.
That's
Gamersubs.gg. I'm sipping, chilling on some dragon fruit punch, bro.
It's late at night here. It's the only thing keeping us fucking going. We got the Gamersubs.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Gamersubs.gg. Use code Misfits. It's 10% off. Best shit you've ever tasted.
Best shit you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
tasted. But yeah.
No chalk. No chalk.
No joke.
And best served with
No
ice,
lead.
which is why you need caps.
That's right. We always need a few caps. But yes, ice caps aside, obviously a joke. Of course, the ice caps are needed for some reason.
Yeah, for something.
For some reason, you know, coronavirus. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing, and it just makes you wonder.
Shit's
like,
fucked.
it just makes you wonder, like, what the fuck else
Should
is gonna
we-
go down?
Should we try and predict the next thing?
I don't know. What's the next big
Let's
thing
cause
that's gonna
panic.
fucking rock the world this year?
I reckon
The Yellowstone caldera is going to erupt.
What's
There's going to
that?
be volcanic activity and tons of earthquakes in the west of the United States.
Oh,
The caldera underneath Yellowstone Park, a giant supervolcano, will erupt in the next 10 to 15 years, causing massive devastation.
What the fuck? He's gonna manifest
No,
it.
I
Just
think the
imagine
big
you on a
earthquake's
street-
gonna happen.
I just imagine.
The fucking was it the big
With a
LA earthquake?
sign.
I think that's gonna happen this year too. I
LA
know it. They're
Big
saying the big one's coming. It's gonna
Yeah.
be this year at this rate.
Yeah, the earthquakes are going to be hitting again. I'm sure that, I mean, New Zealand has been devastated by earthquakes in the past. That'll probably, it's like shit just gets fucked, man. Like you just can't tame the environment,
Shit's
can
fucked.
you? Especially not when you're fucking it up so much.
But what do you have a bunch of
Yeah.
bones or seeds or wheat?
What do you mean?
Huh? What's this for? We
That's
talking
nice.
For,
farm?
for,
Minecraft
for,
joke.
for taming the environment.
Yeah, fucking
Ah,
good one.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, neither
It's a
do I.
Minecraft
Yeah,
show.
no, it's a
Yeah.
Minecraft man. Everyone's on TikTok now, Dad. All right, keep up. Anyway.
That's fucked. That's so fucked. What the fuck? What'd you just call him? Would you just call him a
Look,
dad? What the
fucking,
fuck?
I'm sorry, mate.
Look at him. Are you serious? You just fucking what the yeah? Smoke a
you
joint,
do
you
to
fucking
him?
dirty dog.
What are you gonna do about it? You know, it is what it is.
What am I? Oh, what am I gonna do about it?
We should have left
Wait,
him kicked
kick
out
him
of the
again.
Misfits.
Kick him out again.
I was so close to being kicked out of the Misfits, guys. You would not believe it. It's fucking insane.
Exactly.
The dialogue box popped up. Kick player fits. Fucking
Yeah, the fucking
3
CS:GO
votes.
kick.
Someone save me. I don't know who it was.
Exactly.
By the time this podcast comes out, our Queensland walk should have dropped. I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
That's
sir.
so. It's such a good video.
Man,
so
It's a
far.
very good video.
We haven't even seen the final version yet. We've all watched like this longer cut of it, which was like an hour long, and even that was just such a good video. Like we were all rolling.
I was dying.
It was so good to relive that. I feel like everyone had really good energy in that video. Mason killed it. You know,
It
fucking
was so funny.
So
Mad,
funny.
mad on the flying fox.
yeah. So yeah, if you haven't checked
It
that
was
out,
so good.
please check it out. I'll be very interested to see what the audience's reception is. And yeah, fucking shit's dope. How long have we been here for?
I think an hour.
An
It's been
hour,
really-
yeah.
Minus the pre-show, just over an hour.
All right, well, guys, like,
yeah,
is there
fuck,
anything?
that's fine.
Is there anything
It's
that we want to talk
420.
about? Yeah, like
420, something about 420.
Oh,
boys.
420.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck. We should have said at
Yeah.
the beginning, bro.
yeah.
420 drop.
Yeah,
The
fuck.
merch.
Guys, what are you doing?
We'll have to edit
You
it.
gotta
into
get.
that. We'll have to edit
You're
it
gonna
into
miss out. Like, look at this shit. Look at last year's 420.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Oh,
Look at him.
that. Look at it.
This
But-
shit was so good. You're gonna miss out on this kind of shit.
and the
You
art
gotta
team have got a
jump
whole
on that,
year to
boys.
improve since then. The merch is so much high quality since
Jump
that
on
drop.
that, boys.
The designs are fucking insane. Go to
are.
scuff.store and grab yourself some. The hoodie is crazy. It's got like a zipper on the fucking pocket.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's got a
Smell-proof.
stash. You can hide it.
And
It's like
it comes with a
smell-proof and
lighter,
shit.
a
That's
free
nuts.
lighter.
It's got like a insane like what's the material you use with the flash?
3M.
3M material, so like it kind of glows when it's got a flashlight on it, or it glows in the light. Fucking crazy cool.
Oh, like take a
Super
photo of
fluorescent.
it. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
that's
so sick. Anyway, go to scuff.store, grab yourself
That's
some merch.
insane.
Please do.
Store.
Appreciate the support.
Scuff.store.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. I mean, are we good? You know, anything else you want to bring up?
I think I think we're just about done.
Cool. Happy 420, everyone.
Happy
We're back.
420.
20 boys.
Misfits, we're keeping doing our thing. And
Yeah.
we'll see
Bye.
you next week.
Discord.
Bye.
Pod.
Yo.
Congratulations, our podcast is now legal to drink and buy cigarettes in the state of California.
Absolutely. It is 21 episodes old. Look at that. It's a big grown-up adult now. In the eyes of the country of America, it's legally an adult, yeah.
Or something. Is 18 the adult, or is 21 the
17 is when you're like legally a I don't know, it's weird because 17 is when you can be like tried as an adult and stuff for like a crime, and you can see R-rated movies. But then 18 is when in some states you can buy cigarettes and lottery tickets, and then 21 is like real big boy, because then you can like
Real big boy?
That's real big boy. That's actually what it's
super big
called.
boy. Sorry if I sound low energy in this podcast. My back is fucked up again, and I've been fighting a shitty headache. I was up all night doing everything I could. You know what finally worked?
What?
A cold compress.
Really?
Either that, or after 3 straight hours of a pulsating headache that wouldn't let me sleep, it just finally died down enough for me to close my eyes.
You also didn't mention the homeless guy you've been getting into fights with outside.
Not any fights.
Well, I mean that's why your back's hurting.
Oh yeah. But in all seriousness, no, I do have a story.
Yeah, tell us that. That's a great opening story, Ryan. What happened last night?
As I do, I go into the alleyway sometimes. It's a fun little area. I just bounce around, jump around, jog a bit. Who knows? Take a dip, and then
nowhere to swim, but
that's your opinion.
What?
So I'm out there minding my own business. Then one of the homeless guys, he didn't tell me his name, came up. So he asked me if I had any weed, and then he asked if I had meth, which I did not have meth.
Did he ask you that, really?
Yeah, because he does meth. He's like, "Can you tell I'm on it right now?" And I was like,
"Oh God,
a little bit, maybe." He goes, "What? What are the telltale signs?" And then
you're homeless.
I was just silent, and then he just continued. And it got to the point where all of a sudden, like, we were having a conversation. He was just telling me, like, I was asking. Oh, by the way, the woman's name that always yells.
Yeah,
her name is Ming.
What?
He calls her Ming.
Ming, like Ming?
Yeah, he calls her Ming.
Like a Chinese woman's name?
Yeah.
Ming? Are you serious?
I'm serious. He calls her Ming.
What?
Uh-huh.
I think we've talked about her on a previous podcast. It's the loud, yelling homeless woman who just throws things and takes her shoes off and
puts stuff in the alleyway for cars to run over.
She screams 24/7. But I guess her name is Ming, so.
And even this guy said, she was a bit loco. So,
we have a great variety of homeless people on Super Mega now. We have Dirk, Ming, and we didn't even come up with Ming. That just that sounds like that's in the same league as Dirk, but it's
Dirk and Ming. But
great.
anyways, this isn't the meat of the story.
Ooh.
So he okay, this is 100% correct. I'm not fabricating this shit. After, we talk for a bit, he goes, "Hey, do you mind if I ask your opinion on something?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And he goes, "Can you tell me if I can sing well?"
Okay.
I'm like, "What?" He goes, I'm gonna sing for you, and can you tell me if I have a good voice or not? So I'm like, okay. And he starts singing it, and he starts singing like this though. He's like, I love you, you're the light of my life. I'm just like sitting there, and I have this face on, Matt.
Yeah,
Like, you know, that smile, wide-eyed. Yeah,
it's like yeah.
And he got done, and I was like, wow, that's better than what I could do. It was very soft voice. And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm going for. And then he starts telling me how he went to high school with Sean King, and he gave Sean King a bunch of ideas.
Sean Kingston?
Whatever his name is. But anyways, he went to school with someone, like, I don't know. He said Sean
Or
King.
he could have just been
Kingston.
making someone up because he was high on meth.
That is true. And he said he gave him a few music ideas, and that he was going out with his lady, and at dinner, the first date, he surprised her with a love song. And then he sang me the love song. And he's like, I also wrote another song. And then he sang me another song. And then he goes, I also wrote some holiday music. I got a Christmas song. Then he starts singing me this, and each song is the same fucking thing. Except with the Christmas song, he like threw in the word bells or sleigh or some shit. Didn't make sense, but it's like the same rhythm, the same song.
I love bells.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay. So I was just like, I was holding like sweet tea, and I was like, hey, do you want the rest of this? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back inside. You have a good one. That was nice. Thank you. He was like, okay, man, thank you. Then I left, and that's the story of I've seen this guy a few times. Usually he just asks if like I have a lighter I can give him, which I don't. So
dude, I just realized like you have a lot of good homeless people stories.
Because they're my people.
Like they see you and they just like, oh, he's one of us.
I mean, you look at me in the alleyway, and it's very hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I'm wearing flip-flops, like little black gym shorts, and a Hawaiian shirt that shows my chest hair.
I mean, I'm not much far. Like on days like this, I don't really care. I'm wearing these. I don't even know what these are, dude. These are awful. These
sandals?
They're not even sandals. They're
I don't wear sandals. I like flip-flops.
We got them on Amazon a while back to have them for like when we went to the pool. So they're just really like ugly shoes. And I remember our buddy Jose saw them.
They're crocky a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very crocky. They look bad. And I remember my buddy Jose was like, Matt, what are those? When he first saw them. Not in like the meme, like, what are those way, but he saw them and he was like, what are those? Because they're so bad.
Then you told him, you looked him straight in his fucking face, and you said, these are my sandals, and this is my life, and you don't judge me for anything, you dirty man.
Then a single tear rolled down his cheek as he saw that I had become the man he wanted me to be. I had stood up to him and shown that I don't know where I'm going with
the
it.
end.
Yeah, that's the end. But then I'm just wearing, just these loose-fitting shorts and a little t-shirt that's a little too small for me.
You've been up late most nights working on something. What have you been working on?
I've been up super late every night because I'm doing a game jam right now with my buddy Connor.
What's the game?
It's
you let me play around with it.
Don't really have much of an idea like direction right now.
And how long until it's due?
It's doing like 3 days, 2 days, I don't know.
You need to hurry that shit up, baby.
I know. The theme is Game Boy, and you can only use 4 colors. And
I like the character that you made. You're really good at pixel art.
Thank you.
Well, like,
I
don't know how. Like, I've seen you make a bunch of like pixel art stuff, but I kind of want to see you go in. I don't know how else to explain that, but I want to see you like.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like, do more than just like small scale pixel art.
Yeah, because like I've seen you draw, and it's very rarely that like you have something of just like, for example, there's this one thing you drew of like Daniel and I way back when, where it's like me milking him as this giant spider, like he's milking me. I can't remember. I think I'm the spider, and he's
you're the spider, and he's on your back, and he's squeezing your titties, and there's milk coming out into a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, and like it's really well done. It's like detailed and shit, and like. I'm just, and then I see like the first Brent mask you draw. So there's definitely like a line of like, you can tell where you take your time, and you can tell where you just kind of get it done for the sake of it being done.
Yeah.
And so I want to see more of like that type of shit, because I love it. I love it so much. Is it why don't you do more of that? Why don't you? I thought you said you wanted to get more into drawing. How come you haven't gotten more into that?
Well, I kind of like got really busy, so I didn't get the chance to.
What? You're busy? Well, hey. Here's one thing, Ding Dong's helping us out,
Oh yeah,
by
Ding Dong
editing,
is helping us out. He's editing Oni's videos right now, which is a massive fucking help. You're a true sport. You're taking quite a bit of work off of our shoulders so we can get more backlogged with Super Mega and Game Grumps and Kitty Cat Gaming and all the live action videos for Game Grumps and all the little advertisements and commercials and
Woo!
yeah, baby.
As we've said before, 2017 is going to be the year. We just come back. 2016, it's kind of riding out. We're getting everything done. We're getting, used to this new job. And it's busy nature. How many times have we said that? That's a lot of times.
What?
Hey, we've been busy. Just hold on. We're going to release some content soon. Some good content.
Well, it's true, though, because we're just super busy. But we are we're working on it, guys.
Zach and I can't fucking sit down in an office chair for more than 15 minutes without my back sending a shitty, kind of sharp pain.
I know what it is, dude. Ming put a curse on you.
She did.
Ming was out in the alleyway, and she saw you. She's like, you know what?
I ain't got no love for this white man.
Yeah, and then she cast a little spell on you. And just, I don't know if we've stated that before, but one time we were outside in the alleyway, and Ming was just screaming like, I ain't got no love for this city.
It was really
it's poetic.
I would expect it more to just kind of be like, fuck this city.
Yeah, but
it was, I ain't got no love for this city.
And it was just,
Ryan and I was like, it was a beautiful moment.
We looked at each other and we were like, Jesus Christ.
I felt like I was watching The Soloist or something.
I know, it was so deep. It was just,
it was like something out of a Hollywood movie.
God damn, dude.
I've been watching Mr. Robot recently.
Mr. Robot's Neighborhood?
Haha. It's really fucking good.
Is
Holy
it?
shit. Oh, I love it. It's so good.
What's it about?
There's a hacker.
Hackers and code crackers.
Yeah,
baby.
but it's not like dude, get the fucking slime hack on the 229er missile launch sequence now.
Yeah, dude, get the fucking slime hacker on the 229er missile launch sequence now.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
But they use that fucking command prompt window for most things.
I know, it's so fake.
And it does it. No, but in the black, the kind of
Lives
command.
matter?
No, they do. But that they do.
Oh no, you mean in the show they make hacking look realistic?
Yeah.
Good. That's Hollywood. I've ranted about this before. Hollywood sucks at making hacking look realistic.
But Mr. Robot, I think, does it really well. It doesn't make me roll my eyes. At least I don't hack, so I wouldn't know. But I'm just saying it doesn't feel as goofy as what I've been seeing lately.
There's a stereotype of hacking, and Hollywood makes it so bad. They go into that it's 400-pound man.
Can you hack the system?
Oh yeah, I can hack into the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Just give me a second. And
they always bring up the mainframe.
I know, it's
just got to the mainframe.
And it makes all these beeping sounds as if computers actually, when you're hacking, are
They got numbers like the Matrix fucking code going.
And the hacker can just see all these numbers at once and decode them, and he's like, ha, got it, I'm in.
They make it look like hacking is solving a Sudoku puzzle.
I know. Just a really complicated, and you have to be a savant genius to do it.
But you have to be a savant genius to do it, don't you?
To hack?
Well, not back in HTML where you could just kind of go to right click and look at the page source and just kind of copy and paste and fuck around with it.
Yeah, but it's
because I did that a lot in elementary school.
Oh, you would just go and change a few things, put it.
But it wouldn't change on the website. But I could make my own
you could put
site
it in a text document, and then change it up. I remember there was an old piece of JavaScript. You could put it into the navigation bar, and then you could just edit everything on the page. And it was only for you. It didn't actually change it. I don't remember it, but it was I'd go on my school's website and put swear words, and I'd be like, ah, and I'd show everyone in the class. They'd be like, dude, whoa,
no, ew.
I remember a long time ago, my buddy Connor, the tech guy,
the hacker,
the hacker himself, Connor, he went on my old YouTube channel and made it say I had 1 trillion subscribers.
Really?
And I thought that it actually said it on the real website, and I was freaking out, dude, change it back. I'm gonna get banned. And I was freaking out. Oh,
I love Connor. He's very upfront. That's what I love about Connor. He said, I remember I was like, dude, when are you going to come back out? And he just texted right back, no, let me get that exact quote out because I don't want to
You didn't tell me this. I'm excited to hear what this is.
Hold on. I'm just like, when you coming back? Whenever I can afford to. Period. Okay.
That's Connor.
Yep.
Yeah, but like,
I'm just like, because usually people bullshit around. It's like, dude, whenever I can make it, I loved it out there, dude.
yeah, but it's just like whenever I can afford it. Hey, he's being honest.
And that one time, like when I can't remember, I said I offered